Delays for several hours made a long flight to the West Coast take more than twice as long as it should have. Game 2, with some shut-eye, the Bats came alive.
Into the cap in right center for Lara. He's going to run forever. It's off the top of the wall. That will score one. Vaughn being waved around third. The throw coming home is late. Vaughn scores on a 2-run triple by Lara.
Jeff Levering on Brewers TV with the call. Milwaukee with the 8-2 victory at Oracle Park. Logan Henderson, the star in this one. He gives up just 2 hits in 5 2/3 innings of work. He's now 5-1 on the season. He struck out 7 and walked just 2. The series finale is later today, starting at 2:45. Shane Drowan will pitch against Logan Webb. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hits. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
What we got to do? All right, that's all the board got to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Oh, baby, ready to dominate a Wednesday in the good land? It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app. Streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. It's a 2-shot today, 2 boxes until 7:25 when Matt Mueller joins us. Drew Olson and Armen Sarian. Billy is going to be in on his way to Green Bay because he is covering the Packers and their first practice of training camp today with Wayne Larrivee. Training camp live, running from 11 to 1 on many of these here airwaves and interwebs. In the meantime, we will skate shorthanded. And Armen, I think this is going to be a condition that we will get used to over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Bill. Drew, sorry about that. Yeah, Billy will be making his way up to Green Bay to be at the perch with Wayne. So we'll be used to it. Unfortunately for you, I'm out for a couple of days as well. So you're going to have Hunter a little bit. So it'll be a rotating.
But I mean, throughout camp when you get back.
Yes,
you're out like camp. Thursday, Friday, Monday?
Correct. Yeah. So it'll be a trend, but it'll be a good one as we get those guys live up there. And a little double as a Billy, but mostly a rotating cavalcade. But it'll be a lot of fun.
What trip are you taking, if any, on Thursday?
It is. I'm taking a trip to a wedding, my cousin's wedding in Washington D.C. So going to be exciting to see him get married, see some extended family, and this was a good thing because once upon a time, about a year ago, this wedding was scheduled for September, so it was going to be a bigger issue for me schedule-wise.
Oh my!
Than it will be now. But
so it got postponed.
It just got adjusted. The original saved that. Who knows why? The original saved date or the original implied date was moved up a little bit. Probably
I had a wedding slated for the last weekend in August.
Yeah,
right around the Packers' last exhibition game, and it was actually convenient because the wedding is Saturday and the Packers play their exhibition game on Friday.
That's right.
And I thought, and it was in Upper Michigan, so I'm like, all right, well, I'll just stay up in Green Bay area and then drive up to Michigan and cut it in half. And then that wedding got postponed, not canceled, just postponed.
Yeah, as you know, I mean, and this was, it's coming up on 5 years for me, which is hard to believe, but planning a wedding and trying to organize that is one of the most challenging things because your vendors and your venues and all these things. And usually it's the venue. Usually it's like what venue you can get that has an available date that adjusts the the dates around and stuff like that. So it can be a busy, challenging thing. I mean, I know someone who's got to save the date for 2 years in advance because it's like an Italian wedding. And everyone's trying to do something crazy these days. It feels like it's not like let's go down to the local church and find a fish fry and celebrate with a polka band. It's not the same as it used to be, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Excited to get a couple days to see family, to celebrate that, and to hopefully make my way through, because I know American Airlines had an IT grounding yesterday. They had to ground all flights for a while.
That. Yeah.
Which is not exciting for me because once again, I'm saddled with the
curse
of American Airlines coming up because we had to get direct. However, I think we should be good and it should be all fixed, and we'll see how it goes. Airplane ride with a toddler will be an adventure, right? As we know.
This is Lena's first trip in the bird in the sky, or no?
She has flown, but she was more of a baby at that point. So she's more of aware this time, more aware of what's going on. So we've been doing a good job, though. I've been tracking flights with her, Drew.
Oh, boy.
For a while. I've been showing her where the airplanes fly.
All your hobbies.
And when they go above us and for Mitchell, I try and tell her, hey, we're going to be flying in one of those. She gets excited about that. So we'll see how it goes. I've read all corners of the internet with every strategy possible.
That's not going to be that.
Tire them up. No,
they'll go fast.
Eventually, we'll go up. We'll come down.
Snooze.
Life will go on.
That's a pretty quick flight, too.
Yeah, a couple hours. Yeah.
You'll be all right. You can reach us on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. We mentioned for many it's the first day of Christmas. Packers in camp. Billy, Nags, Wayne Larrivee. It's a little bit like they popped a Viagra this morning.
It is.
It's like a little blood flow going. They're feeling it. They're in their element. They're like, it's here, baby. Let's go. And then again, my 1,000-yard stare, my cold, dead eyes of a longtime sports writer. It's like, yeah, that is exciting. It feels like the first day of school and stuff, and you're seeing all your friends and you're seeing all your media friends, and you're seeing the players again and guys you haven't seen in several weeks or months, since OTAs. And sometimes, and some guys maybe they didn't even see during OTAs.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, okay, great. And then it starts and you're like, oh, God, when does the season start?
Wait, back to work.
But it's just like the drudgery, and it's like the novelty wears off really quickly.
Sure.
But those guys have a seemingly an endless well of excitement for the football and for the minutia of the camp, right? Because again, one-on-one camps, I said it and I'll apply it to this circumstance, but I said it with Hunter on the Dennis Krause Spectrum Roundtable on Thursday. Thanks everybody for watching that.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
But he was talking, he was excited about Braden Burry's in the summer league and being named to the all summer league team. And I said, Dennis, in order to be an intelligent fan, and our smart, good looking listeners fit the bill of intelligent upper level sports fans, you have to be able to keep two conflicting thoughts in your head at the same time.
Yeah.
One, Braden Burry's looks good and it's very promising. Two, it's just summer league and it means nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
so and it's hard.
But it's all you have.
It's all you have.
But you have to. And then my question is, we just said farewell to Giannis after a 13-year run, arguably the greatest player in franchise history. What did he do in summer league?
I have no idea.
I had no idea.
I can't remember at all.
I don't remember good reviews, bad reviews. I remember nothing.
I remember nothing
of Giannis in the summer league, which is to say that's what was properly placed. It's like it doesn't mean anything.
Ironically, the only indelible summer league memory I have is Rashad Vaughn because he went on a run every summer. Like he had a great summer league.
I remember Rashad Vaughn only for cooking.
That too.
On Instagram Live or whatever. Let me season this up a little bit. We used to have that drop.
Because it was so consistent and it was so irregular from his regular abilities during the season. It was so indelible in my mind. However, you're right, Drew. We don't remember that. But I think you tapped on something. It's what we have. And if you are into the minutia.
That's just it. It's the camp. So, okay, Jordan Morgan just got beat in a one-on-one drill. Oh, my God. And you're going to hear that from 10 different accounts. And you're going to think that he sucks because of he slipped on one play setting up to block in a one-on-one drill. And it's like stuff gets, the minutia and it's the churn and I'm here for it. Like, I just know that that's what we're going to go through and I'll be part of it because I'm going to go there and watch and I will be impressed by guys. I remember there's been times when I'm standing by Nags and we get excited about, we zero in on the same player on the sideline and you're like, this guy really looked good. And then you realize, no, he's not good.
It's much like there's some ceremonious aspect to it. It's much like, everybody's getting together again after the long break. It's basically, it's like a little bit like spring training in that sense, right? Where the games don't matter, but getting together and sharing the stories and the little minutia of the journey that comes from that specific moment is something that's yours and yours only when you're up there every year. Like, like the guys that are always at spring training have their own set of stories in their own hotels. The guys that are always at camp together have their own sets of memories and sets of stories and sets of traditions of, who's wearing the funny hat in the sideline in the sun because it's always hot, and who's in, gym shorts. What's it going to look like? What music are they going to play? Watching like for me last year when we were up there every day, it was the little things I remembered, like watching the grounds crew guy drive around the John Deere to pull the goalposts around and stuff like that. Like those are just, it's almost like if you've ever been to summer camp when you were a kid, especially if you sleep away, right? It's like if you saw the same kids every year for that stretch of 4 or 5 years, so much has all happened to you over the year, like changes, growth, other memories, consistent home life, friends. But when you get together again in that one unique area, in that place, it's kind of timeless. It puts you together in that unique environment where you're together and where nothing else matters and where you're living this fantasy life again in a way. Like not fantasy, but like this removed life where like there's reality is happening around you, but we're here, we're in training camp. And what matters to us is this 100 yards in front of us where guys are just running back and forth in shorts. It's a fun memory because it marks the season. It marks time. The people you see, it's things like that. And it's kind of like if you're into the nerdy parts of it, right? The minutia, like you said, the things it's silly to stress about, like the Braden Burry Summer League thing. It's fun to do it though. It's fun to be like, what's Trey Smack going to do from 55 yards? Oh no. Is he going to go wide right? Like those kind of things are fun to enjoy in a way. Cause you can't tell much from it, but it's part of this tradition and you just go do it. Yeah. So it's an exciting time of the year.
Hit us up 877-794-1973 NicoletLaw.com talk text line. Hot Take Hump Day will hit us at about 7:00. But I'm sorry, 6:00. But you can hit us before that with your hot takes if you'd like, including one maybe perhaps about the Milwaukee Brewers bouncing back in a big way with an 8-2 victory last evening in San Francisco. A crisp 5 2/3 from Logan Henderson, who I was throwing his name into trade rumors and stuff. Mm-hmm. He might be too good to let go. We might have to look somewhere else. If someone asks for Logan Henderson, I might have to say, can I interest you in what's behind door number 2?
Yeah, because he'd be the prize, wouldn't he? I mean, it sure seems like that.
Any team that asks for a major league ready starter is going to ask for Logan Henderson.
And I caution people that are completely continuing to complain about Shane Drowan. Every time I open something about Shane Drowan, it's why does he give up runs? Why can't he be great? We are kind of spoiled as Brewers fans now with our pitchers.
Yeah, we're getting to be like Green Bay fans with quarterbacks.
Just think everybody should be perfect all the time.
Everybody's just got it. Well, Chris Hook will fix him.
And I'm like, Shane Drowan hasn't completely realized his potential yet. Okay, well, but Logan Henderson seems to be like you can't get too upset. Like if you're upset about Drowan, then focus on Logan Henderson. Like the Brewers are still creating successful pitchers one way or the other, and it's. So Logan Henderson's the latest example of guys that are impressive that you feel like you don't want to get let go. Right?
Anybody
now.
Who's obsessing over Shane Drowan walking guys isn't watching him because you see, the flashes of inconsistency. But why would you not focus on when he's good and he looks and his stuff is like really good and you're like, oh man, there's something here.
Sure.
You can clearly see. You don't have to be a pitching coach to see that he's got promise. And if you're worried, like how can they give him a spot with he walks guys and stuff like. The Brewers, once again, are tied with the Dodgers for the best record in baseball.
Yeah. And it's like if you're upset that all of your pitchers aren't perfect or all of your players aren't perfect, you have a lot of really good ones, so you should be excited about that. Like there's no reason to let that be the focus of your ire. But I guess it's like the old Al McGuire line: is the type of guys that are upset Raquel Welch couldn't cook. There's always something like that. But the point is basically Logan Henderson's been great. He pitched great again last night, and the Brewers kind of needed it. I mean, the Cubs are not letting up, Drew.
No, they're not.
They're keeping the pressure on, and you kind of felt like, okay, we had to bounce back and get a win. And lo and behold, Logan Henderson gets it done. And through some adversity, because Vaughn had to drop pop-up. He had to drop ball at first base. There was some weirdness with the challenge that William wanted that they didn't give him. So Logan fought through all that, got the job done, stabilized for the Brewers. They got their runs and got the job done.
The Vaughn drop was not an error. Henderson was charged an error for his drop. The Contreras had a pass ball, but they also turned 2 double plays. But the thing with the Brewers is about last night, and we've talked about it repeatedly, that it seems like they struggle with runners in scoring position. They don't hit a lot of homers. They're like last in the major leagues in homers. And yet here they are with a huge run differential, tied for the best record in baseball. Last night, they conjured a couple of rallies out of nothing. And when you can score runs with 2 outs and nobody on, and you end up scoring a couple, that's what you're looking for. And I'm looking at the box score, and it's like 2 out RBI last night. Terang 2, Lara 2, Churio and Pratt. And their boys and girls is the difference between, the Brewers and the craptastic, whoever, insert crappy team here, insert Mets, like the teams that can, they need a veteran leadership. You know what veteran leadership is? A 2-out hit that scores a run. And you got that last night from Cooper Pratt. You got that last night from Luis Lara, who are young guys, and Churio hardly old. So, I mean, that's that things are rolling so well for the Brewers.
Yeah, they continue to put runners on base all the time. I mean third in the league in OBP.
Yeah, you don't score 8 runs. It's hard to score 8 runs without a homer sprinkled in there. Right? I mean,
it's not what they do.
It's facts. You're stringing together. But if you're going to get some doubles, they only had 3 extra base hits last night, a double and 2 triples.
But they made them count, right? That was a big
They made them count.
Brewers lead the league in doubles, lead MLB in doubles right now with 198. You'd be surprised though the Rockies are number 2.
And by the way, Luis Lara is batting 289. He had 3 runs batted in last night.
Looking good. I was worried that double. I was worried that double was gonna go over the wall. I was like, please clip the wall. That's an extra run. But yeah, he's been coming up big.
Oh, and Pratt's batting 283.
Yeah, he had the single.
Had the single and scored a couple runs. So they're electrifying the back end, the bottom of the lineup. And again, that's like, man, these kids are controllable. The Brewers are going to be good for a while, man.
Huge.
Buckle up. It's like, okay, so, everybody can look forward and people have this sense of dread. It's like, oh, we're going to run into the big monstrous Dodgers and they're going to lose, or the Phillies might get them. But this team's going to be good for a couple of years. Like, just looking at the blueprint and the guys that are in place. Whew.
Yeah, and that's by design, right? That's the whole thing about
that
keeping that train rolling.
Model.
Yeah.
How do we stay, not just this year, but in subsequent years as well. All right, continue to hit us up, 877-794-1973. If this was a Monday and we were giving out game balls and kicks the balls, I'd kick myself because I took my work laptop home last night, which I normally don't do. Took it home yesterday. Actually used it on a little podcast that I was appearing on.
Nice.
And I left it at Stately Olson Manor. So Armen has loaned me his laptop because he's got one in his producer's lair. He's got access to a PC. So I'm half playing naked. I'm playing half naked today. I'm walking through the bus station with stripped to the waist.
How long does it take you when you get a new computer or laptop, Drew, to get used to the keyboard configuration?
I will never be able to because I just tried to find the period and
it takes forever.
I had to try to find the period to go to brewers.com.
Yeah.
And it took forever.
When I got that, it honestly took me a good month and a half to get, because you get so used to the keystrokes muscle memory.
Exactly.
And it becomes so different. Exactly. So it is pretty
and
funny.
And then I did find one in the locker room, and it's like a ThinkPad, and I can't get it to fire up. I plugged it in, and it's not firing up right away. But I think this one belonged to Hunter. And if we can get a hold of him a little bit later. In fact, we're going to listen to Hunter's recap of the Brewers game. In fact, we'll do that probably next. If I could find maybe him to get in the password, but this thing's just not even firing.
That one might be the one. There's one that we can't get logged into for years because we don't have the password or the passcode. So I don't know. I wouldn't wait up for that one.
Engineering might have to have a hand.
Feel free to. Yeah.
I'm just going to suffer through. I'm going to plow through. I got my phone in my hand. I got Armen's loaner work laptop here with no porn on it, which is depressing.
No, it's clear. Sorry about that.
You're going to leave it in my hands for the next 3 hours? Yeah. I don't know. No, we'll see. I kid. I won't do anything to get you in trouble with HR. I can't. I just will not do that to you.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you loaning this laptop.
Hey, Drew, I got to admit though, I mean, this is coming off your travel fail, this is a little disappointing. This is
I know. Well, it's
like me.
I got my phone. I can function with the phone.
Yeah, you
like
definitely can.
I'm not paralyzed here.
Right.
That's
a good point. Yeah.
How we're going to get through. But spinning back to what today is about. Today is about, the Brewers play at 2:30, getaway game, trying to win the series and have a happy off day. Family trip. If you can have the winning first series on the family trip, that's important because they're going to Anaheim. They'll have a day off. They can take the kids to Disney World, have a nice relaxing day. If they win today, it's going to be relaxing anyway, but it might be more enjoyable if they win. But the theme today is the first day of school, Packers camp. We're going to talk about the Packers. We're going to talk about, it's the first day, optimism. Hope springs eternal, or hope summers eternal. We'll talk about the Packers in some depth today. Billy will join us at a certain point on his way up to cover practice with Wayne Larrabee. We'll catch up with Billy and we'll talk a little bit about that. And I want to know, just because I know that there are many people out there who follow the Packers and live and die with the green and gold who don't go to games at Lambeau because they don't have tickets, they watch on TV, and they just don't make the pilgrimage. But everybody can make the pilgrimage to camp. You can go watch a practice if you can get a day off and spin up there.
Yep.
And it's all free and you can walk around. And if you plan your day, you can go to the pro shop for sure. And you can walk around, get the tour, and do the Packers Hall of Fame. And you can make a day of it. And it's one of the better day trips for sure in the state. And I want to know what the others are, because it dawned on me that since I've started doing this, I've been in this business my whole career. I don't think I've ever really taken a sports themed getaway
like a
road
vacation
trip.
Because most of your work has been the sports. So
Exactly.
It's hard to do
I
that.
don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone up to practice and stuff, and I've gone to an occasional Cubs game or something, but I've never made like that sports trip that I talk to people like Matt Mueller is going to join us 725. They do that baseball trip all the time. Going to minor league parks and big league parks.
Yeah.
It's tradition. So
no derby, nothing like that, huh?
We're going to talk on that and explore that and see what our smart, good-looking listeners have to say. We're glad that you're hanging out with us. Billy will join us at a certain point this morning. It's Drew and Armen against the world. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Back on the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Olson, Armen. Sorry, we're skating shorthanded because it's training camp. Billy will be in on his way up to grab station vehicle, and I think he's had the gear ready for a while. He is geeked.
Yeah, he got together with Hunter to get some gear together, and I saw the sled parked out there, so he's getting ready to drive it. I saw that big rig, The big rig.
Is
he taking the
I don't know if he's taking. No, I don't think he's. I don't know what vehicle he's taking. He might be taking the country station down the hall's Subaru Outlook or whatever the hell.
Whatever keys around the hangar somewhere.
Yeah,
there.
pretty much.
That's how it goes out there. So yeah,
pretty much.
Absolutely awesome.
We want to hear from our 5 o'clock clubbers. 877-794-1973. You want to slip in a hot take for Hot Take Hump Day? Great. If not, just check in, say hello, as Janny and Appleton did. Janny said, our electricity was back on about 4 p.m. yesterday. Can't thank the men and women of We Energies enough for working long and hard to get us up and running again. By the way, our road trip to PNC in Pittsburgh was a great sports trip, even if the games were disappointing. Included a stop at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland on the way home.
Nice.
All right, Janny and Appleton.
Now talking about sports trip, how about a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame trip, Drew?
That's perfect. I was thinking about that because most of my trips, discretionary fun trips, are music themed, like go see a band or a festival or something like that, rather than the sports. But we're talking about sports trips because I think it's a perfect pilgrimage, and every Packers fan, even people who might never make it to a game, I don't have tickets, they're too expensive, or I just, the drive and the proximity where you are in the state, it's a special thing to go to Lambeau. But I'm struck by the fact that unlike American Family Field, where there's plenty of tickets and you got 81 opportunities and it's cheapskate Armen and deal days.
Yeah.
It's not everybody goes to Lambeau, and most fans consume Packers football virtually entirely by television, watching the games, and social following the team, which nothing wrong with that. But training camp is accessible, and you can roll up there. And if you're up there early enough, you can get a seat and you can experience the practice and the uniqueness that is. You can watch the kids ride the bikes with the players on the Dream Drive, sponsored by American Family Insurance. And you can be part of that and soak in that atmosphere at very little cost. All you need is the time to go up there. And so that got us thinking about great sports trips. And Janny, thank you, because that's a great one, because you went to follow the Brewers. There are Brewers fans everywhere you go. When the Brewers are on the road, like last night, they find Brewers fans in the stands.
A lot of coops last night.
A lot of coops last night.
We know
there's some
there.
ballpark takeovers. Yeah, we know some people that are there. There's some. I was going to say it's like there's always pockets, and I don't think that the producer director I don't think they have to look very hard to find them.
No, and the funny thing is, I think it's more common than ever before, Drew. I think that's part of our culture as generations change, is trying to travel more or do those things or take those trips. And sports is a great example. I think we've talked so much recently about how there are, sometimes you complain, right? As a fan in the NFL, you get upset if there's too much of the opposing team's color in your stadium, and people say it's become this big discussion. Stop selling your tickets to somebody else. And I was like, and it happened when the Detroit Lions had their influx of Honolulu blue in Lambeau Field. But I think there's one combination of it is fan bases or people are willing to travel more on destination trips built around their sports team. And especially in the NFL, if it's once a year, if they commit to one game, when the schedule comes out, or you see it in baseball, hey, we're going to make this our vacation. We're going to make this our trip. We're going to commit to it. And now NFL stadiums, especially Lambeau, because of all the reasons we mentioned, has become a bucket list destination for travelers. Whereas once upon a time in our culture and our society, there wasn't as much traveling for a game. And now people are more willing to do things like that, and they're more apt to do it. And that's sometimes for them more fun to spend the money on a trip to see your team on the road than to actually see them at home. We see this with Cubs fans a lot when they come to. There are some Cubs fans that never go to Wrigley. They only come.
They prefer to go to American Family.
Right. So I think those are a totally different group of fans. It's pretty interesting when you start looking at it. So for all the reasons you mentioned, I think that's an increasing part of our sports culture, and everyone seems to have a trip like that.
Justin in Jacksonville said, my goal is to go to all NFL stadiums. Definitely harder to now that I have kids, but I've got a decent amount already. And he goes on.
Pretty cool, though.
Moments later to tell us the prices of tickets for Packers away games are 3 to 4 times more expensive, too. I was looking at going to the Tampa Bay game, but the nosebleeds are almost $500 for 2 seats. 2 weeks before, those same seats were going for $65 a pop.
Boy, isn't that
Should've
interesting?
bought them right away.
Yeah, the market.
And that's Packers fans. And
Yeah.
that's why, because in this age when you can put your tickets for sale on StubHub, unless you sell them directly and someone tells you that they're a Packers fan or it's someone you don't know who you're selling to. And on the secondary market, anybody can buy anything. And there's no filters and there's no, I'm only going to sell to someone in a certain area code. I don't know that you can do that.
You can't control that. And I would say this too, Drew. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, but this goes with concerts too a lot. And this really became, I think the eye spotlight came upon it on this last Taylor Swift tour. There is no such thing really as face value anymore. I mean, there is, but there isn't. All pricing seems to be dynamic these days at a lot of these venues. Oh. So when people started
I got news for you, Armen. Pricing is dynamic now in stores.
That's right. That's very true.
Those little cameras that they want to use facial recognition technology. They can capture your face, tie it to your Amazon profile, see how much money you spend, and change the price of a product that you grab off the shelf.
And there are literally places like that. I mean, we talk about it was well known that there were a lot of hotel gift shops in Vegas where their prices aren't even on there. They change them throughout the day. So dynamic pricing, elastic pricing. Secondary market is now the primary market in terms of ticket pricing. So when people would say, well, they're going for this much, those prices are set by whoever it is, the team, Ticketmaster, a lot of times to be like more than just a quote unquote face value. And unless I suppose you buy season tickets the year before, but they can price them however they want. So that stuff changes as well. That used to be the thing. Go to Tampa. It used to be the thing for Packers fans. Go to Tampa.
And it would be 80%. And Tampa used to do 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they did what the Brewers do with the Cubs. It's a marquee game. Costs more.
And prices have only gone up in the NFL, but I think, Drew, because there's so few games, home games, and the NFL is just so popular in this country that even in a market where the teams aren't good, you're still going to be paying a lot for price. It's just the way it is. Now, maybe secondary market drops right before games when stadiums are empty, but how often are NFL stadiums truly that empty anymore? It just seems like something people want to do, and they do it. So to all that point remains, training camp in Green Bay remains one of the special, most unique things that you can absorb you can partake in for basically no money. I mean, you can enjoy everything that makes Green Bay special is right there at training camp. The community feel, going to see practice, seeing players up close, being a part of Lambeau, being a part of the environment, and you can still just walk in and find a seat. So it's pretty tremendous.
Yep. You can hit us 877-794-1973. To me, the Packers training camp day, getting there early, getting your spot on the rail or finding your spot in the bleachers. Again, it's still free. Packers don't charge for it. Eventually, they probably will because the NFL is always
one
looking
day
for revenue.
you'll have to get a wristband or something. One day. Yeah.
But that day and going up there and just enjoy. There are people who tailgate before it. There are people who have drinks. There's plenty of bars in this Titletown district that you can hit in restaurants, or you can make an entire day of going, wherever you're driving in from, stop at a Quick Trip, get yourself a breakfast sandwich and some caffeine.
Totally. And bring it. Yeah.
And then take it there. And then you avail yourself of you've done shows from the Packers Pro Shop, the team store.
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily spend an hour and a half there.
It is so amazing in there.
It's
it's big,
huge.
It's voluminous is the right word. Yeah.
So huge, and it's just so overwhelming that you can spend time there. Then you can take the stadium tour if you sign up for it. You can do the Packers Hall of Fame. There's just boom, it's all right there for you, right?
It's awesome.
So that's a great day sports trip. Now, people who go on those trips, and it's like our mission is to see, like what I mentioned, Matt Mueller and his dad and his brother-in-law do. They go on this baseball bonding guy trip and go to minor league parks and have fun and eat the weird food and do this stuff. That's cool. That's a great tradition. And those are great memories. But I'm just wondering what other sports trips there are, because of what I've done my entire adult life, I haven't really taken a lot of those. I haven't done much of any of those because I've been to a lot of stadiums and I've been to a lot of events that was for work. And so I didn't have to do that. So my trips, hey, I'm going to go to this, I'm going to go to this city and see this band and then go to this city and see another band. Like my trips are more music oriented.
Yeah. If you have some, chime in on the nicklaylaw.com talking text line, or of course you can always get us on our video stream on Facebook, Twitter, X, and YouTube. Greg says, I can't wait to visit Raymond James Stadium this year. There you go. Greg on Facebook has one as well talking about that. Pink Flamingo, woohoo, training camp today. Packers training camp. I'm way too excited for training camp, but I miss football so much. Pink Flamingo OBN chiming in, excited as well. Drew, it's funny. I just read something about how NASCAR attendance has dropped the last couple decades because the RV trips that were a tradition in the NASCAR community, taking RVs to every track, are not as common as they used to be for one reason or another. Prices have changed. Gas prices. It's easier to watch on TV. That was always a big one. People would do the NASCAR trips in RVs and stuff like that. Park the RV.
I wonder if has the cost of fuel, is that going to hurt people going to college football games? Because it's RVing to the college football games is a thing too.
That's exactly another one. It used to be horse tracks. I mean, people still go to the Derby, or the Derby is still destination, but it's also become like more of a high end place for the rich. It's harder to really enjoy it if you're just a lay person, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There's the last horse track in Chicagoland is closing, I believe, Hawthorne. So
really?
I think I read that. I thought I read that. So that was another one that horse tracks more closing. So people used to travel for that type of sporting event, obviously. The summer baseball trip, and we'll talk to Matt about it, seems to be one that's still in the romanticism of American culture that people still want to take. Minor league baseball trips, things like that.
Yeah. I say, here I'm being cavalier about people's time and money, but
sure,
I think everybody, if you can take a day trip to Lambeau, you can do that pretty cheaply. And I think another great trip is making the trip down to Arizona and seeing some spring training.
Another one, spring training for sure.
That's obviously
accessible,
more expensive, but absolutely worth it. And those are that would be, and again, I did that for work. I would go watch spring training and I would go to Arizona during that time.
If you really love sports, or your kids really have love for the sports and the athletes, and they view them as heroes like I did growing up, you get a chance to be accessible with these guys. I mean, you can see these players close up. You can probably catch an audience or an autograph with them for a few moments, maybe a selfie. It's much more common to do something like that in Green Bay during training camp, or as you said, Drew, as you know, at spring training.
Yeah, that's a fantastic time. This portion of the program brought to us in part by Game Day Men's Health. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. If you visit a clinic in the Milwaukee area, tell them you heard about it on the Huddle. Sign up for that free, no obligation consult. They'll do a little blood test, 20 minutes. They'll tell you what your testosterone level is and whether you can benefit from any of their services. They've hair loss prevention. They've got anti-aging. They've got the peptide therapy, which is all the rage in the fitness industry these days, testosterone replacement. Check out GameDayMen'sHealth.com. See if they can change your life. They're doing it for thousands all over the country. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. When we come back, we will hear from Hunter Baumgart. In fact, we might have to play Hunter's recap twice today.
Indeed.
Might revisit it in the 7 o'clock hour for the people who join the 7 o'clock club. Right now, you are an exclusive member of the exclusive 5 o'clock club in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Olson, Armen Sarian, bringing it to you, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Billy will drop by on his way to his favorite day of the year, the first day of Packers training camp up at Lambeau Field. He will be at Ray Nitschke Field. He will be in the perch with Wayne Larrivee, broadcasting all the sights, sounds, and smells from the first practice, Underwear Olympics, we like to call it.
Yes.
At training camp. And there will be a Brian Gutekunst presser beforehand and a Matt LaFleur availability beforehand. And then we'll say goodbye to Goody until probably the draft.
Should be interesting. Yeah, that'll be it, right? Should be interesting to hear from them. I don't know that it'll be as interesting as it was in the Bay yesterday when they heard from Kyle Shanahan for the first time, Drew.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably talk about that during Hot Take Hump Day.
We'll get into some of that as well, but pretty peculiar stuff there.
His accident was something to talk about, and we also have body cam footage of Tony Romo's arrest now. We've seen that.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
was released.
It's circulating. Meantime, Brewers beat the Giants last night. We got a matinee today, and that 8-2 victory last night, prompted by some timely 2-out hitting and Logan Henderson's really crisp 5 2/3 inning start. He's been really good, really consistent. You know who else is really good and really consistent? Hunter Baumgart. He's our go-to guy for the Brewers. He joins us live on the program on Mondays and Thursdays. And Hunter Baumgart has a recap of last evening's proceedings. For those of you who were sleeping, and some of you 5 o'clock clubbers, it's no shame to admit you were snoozing when the Brewers finished their 3-hour tilt last night towards midnight. Hunter was on the case for us. And he's got our report brought to us by Import Minded. Take it away, Hunter.
Thanks, guys. Brewers get a bounce-back victory last night, 8-2, the final score over the San Francisco Giants. They'll go for the win today of the series. But last night, I think the game changed in the 4th inning. Why? Because it was 1-0 Brewers, 2 outs, nobody on. And then Luis Lara walked, and then he stole second base. And then Garrett Mitchell was hit by a pitch. And then Cooper Pratt got an RBI single to score Lara. And then Hamilton walked. And then Terang with a 2 RBI single. Suddenly it's 4-0. They knocked Roop, the starter, out of the game in that inning with 2 outs. They went on a rally. And how many times have we seen that this season where they rally with 2 outs? They did it there, up 4-0, and they ran away with it after that. How about Luis Lara then later in the game with a 2-run triple? The impact of Lara and Pratt in this lineup has been so significant. Lara hitting 289 since coming up on July 7th, and Cooper Pratt hitting 283 since he came up back in mid-June. So it has been incredible by those two. Logan Henderson with the most pitches he's thrown in a start in his career. He goes 5 2/3, and then the bullpen takes it from there. Bryce Eldridge, a late home run for the Giants, but other than that, the Brewers were dominant last night. Shane Drowan on the mound today, 2:45 first pitch as they go for the series win against a tough customer in Logan Webb, who was on the mound for the San Francisco Giants this afternoon. Our one trade deadline nugget, Jeff Passan of ESPN saying the Mets and Brewers have had discussions about a trade that would send Freddie Peralta to Milwaukee, back to Milwaukee, I should say. We'll see where those rumors go. Trade deadline Monday at 5. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Happy first day of Packers training camp, guys. Back to you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Hunter. He's the best.
What a cheery guy. And that Freddie Peralta thing is an interesting tidbit we saw last night, Drew. It just seems to make, in a lot of ways, too much sense. However, I know it strikes people the wrong way a little bit because they will say, oh, more of the same, or Freddie's not the guy, or Freddie hasn't done it this year.
Yeah.
But you can look at it as like they're making Freddie Peralta to be a franchise-changing move, right? We just talked about how they need innings eaters, they need some depth, they need things like that.
We talked about it because, again, we're projecting everything onto October. There are 2 months left of innings to eat, right? And so if Freddie Peralta can keep you in a game for 5 innings 10 times, then there's value in that. But that's not the move that's going to make you think order the rings and plan the parade.
No, nor should it, and that's fine. I
mean, if you're going to get Freddie Peralta to bolster something, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think they need to make the splashy move and get a bigger name slash.
Yeah, and I don't think you're
caliber arm.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, and a lot of that is avavility. We'll see what happens, and we'll see who's available. But
wouldn't it be the total Mets thing though? Wouldn't it be the total in your face to get, like I said, for a box of Krispy Kremes and a broken bat, to get Freddie Peralta? Because I'm not giving up a lot for him.
No, I think that's the point.
And I don't think the price is that high.
The price shouldn't be high. I think that's the point. I think that's what makes it attractive to the Brewers is that you can give a mid-tier prospect or something like that.
If you can get him and he doesn't make a lot of money and it is kind of a rental because, you don't know. Maybe he wants to sign in Milwaukee as a free agent.
And maybe the change of scenery.
His prices come down because of his performance this year.
Significantly. Maybe the change of scenery makes him find something.
But I'm agnostic on it. If you get him, great. He's a good dude and he, you feel better about him than some of the guys that they're running out there in the rotation. Put it this way. In August and September, I would rather see Freddie Peralta on the mound than Coleman Crow.
I totally agree with that. I do. He's got the experience. He's got the ability. He's been around these parts more.
Yeah.
You just have the confidence in what he can do. I think people get so locked into what these guys do in the most recent output. And they think they're destined to be that player, but player performance is constantly changing. It's a fluid thing. It's not linear, and there's no reason to think that put in a new situation with a new boost of burden lifted from him and with some tweaks from the staff that Freddie can't figure out whatever it was that made him really good in the past. I don't think all of a sudden he lost ability. I just think, he started off okay with some pressure on a team that had all kinds of negativity around them and losing, and that stuff permeates. And then he'd be in the opposite situation.
He did lose some velocity and some spin rate and so there is some physical aspect to it. But again, maybe this is like Lourdes where they bring in, give us, you're tired, you're poor, you're huddled masses yearning to lower their ERA. Come and see Chris Hook and Jim Henderson. Maybe that's it.
And maybe you don't need him for 8 innings, Maybe
it's like you definitely aren't going to get 8 innings.
You're not getting that. So you might get a burst somewhere here and there.
But but like I said, there's value in that. And
total value, yes.
We've seen the Brewers, they've overcome short starts, but that's a dangerous game. It's not something you can bank on. We got our starter got us in the 4th. Well, that's not enough. 5th is the baseline, and that's Freddie. So yeah, if you can get Freddie back and up and running, kind of the way he was last year or the year before, nothing wrong with it. But to think that that's the only move and okay, we got our guy now, that's not gonna fly.
Yeah, John and Fondi, great listeners, been giving us a lot of great texts this morning. He had that kind of sentiment where he said, "You want to take the next steps, Freddie doesn't take you there." Well, maybe not, but that's not the point. I mean, I think that's not what you'd get him for. I don't know why. It just seems to offend people, the idea of doing that. I think people want something so bad, which is understandable. They want a World Series, and they want to feel like there's something tangible to unlock that key, unlock that door. Whether or not that's true, I'm not sure. I don't think there is one thing, but people, because of that, are so inclined to say, push harder, make a certain move, make a harder move, make a bigger move. But it doesn't always work like that.
Not always. Nope. We're off and running. Billy will be in at some point this morning on his way up to practice. Once again, first day of Packers training camp. We'll dive deeper into the football part of things as we move forward, and we're going to fire up the Hot Take Hump Day machine. That's right. 877-794-1973. Gets them in. Share them with us. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. Call Monday night's three-hit offensive performance by the Brewers an aberration. They had major travel delays. Maybe it was just an off night. Tuesday night, though, more like it.
He's going to try and get some bulk here. And a shot to center. That'll score a couple of runs. Throw coming home. It's late, and Bryce Terang will take a two-run single instead.
Jeff Levering on the call on Brewers TV. Milwaukee comes away with an 8-2 victory at San Francisco. The Brewers wrapping out 13 hits as opposed to 3 the night before. Logan Henderson pitches 5 2/3 innings, scattering just 2 hits, struck out 7, walked 2. He's now 5-1 on the season. The rubber game, the series finale, starting at 2:45 this afternoon. Shane Drowan will pitch against Logan Webb. The Cubs aren't helping the Brewers out like they usually do. The Cubs clobber the Cardinals 10-2. Milwaukee still leads the division by 6 games. And training camp in Green Bay opens today. Practices at 10:30. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake now! Everybody wake!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick some tape. From right, hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit our guys after and make it play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen
This
Sarian.
is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Rolling through a Wednesday in the good land, rolling through a week in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app. Streaming live, Facebook, X, YouTube. We already welcome the Insomniacs, the Early Risers, the Sociopaths at the Health Club, and the 5 o'clock Club. Welcome in 6 o'clock Clubbers. Glad to have you. Drew Olson, Armen Sarian. Special guest has entered the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Schmid is here.
What's going on, fellas? Feel like a tourist in my own town. It's a weird feeling to be in here.
Happy first day of school.
It's an exciting moment.
You got your fresh Iron Jock shirt on. You're ready
laid
to
out
go.
my Iron Jock last night, made sure that my shoes matched, took the picture with the board where I wrote down everything that I wanted to be when I finally grew up.
First day of camp 2026.
It's finally here, and this is the least exciting of the days of camp, but the one that you get the most excited for because it finally reaches.
It's finally here. Goody's going to be available today, as well as Matt LaFleur. I joked that then Goody, we won't see him till the draft, but it's like he'll hold court a little bit today.
Yeah, he'll find now he hasn't gone full bunker mode like Ted, his predecessor, would, where you 1,000%. You heard from him like 3 or 4 times, but it is like 5 times you get to hear from the GM, the guy that calls all the shots for the Packers, and this is one maybe before the year, and then maybe around the trade deadline, but generally that doesn't necessarily happen around here. Was forced to have an extra one a year ago because they made some kind of noteworthy move, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of camp that called for a press conference. So we'll see. And generally speaking, there's not a ton that comes here. You don't always glean a ton, but man, Brian Gutekunst has been a little bit more of the open decision makers around. This past year at the draft, he said, yeah, we need to, we're going to add to that cornerback room. 2 of their first 5 picks, cornerbacks, did exactly what he mentioned. So I'm excited to see what they are pointing to as the needs for some, competition and maybe some improvement coming up.
Yeah, well, threw a little curveball at us by releasing Lucas Havrisik.
That was a quick one, and grabbing another German man to add into the international, pathway program, international path to kicking the football, because apparently that's where Danny Whalen is maybe recruiting some cats from overseas.
I like Lenny Krieg from Berlin, Germany.
Had he was 14 of 14 in the combine workout. He worked out with the Falcons last year, I believe, during training camp. And I mean, maybe it's legit competition. I'd still have to believe it before I'd have to see it to fully believe it that they'd cut a second round or a 6th round pick and one that you traded 2 7th round picks to go get.
I'm surprised they cut Haversick though. He pitched pretty well in the in his
relief, no doubt about it.
I mean, what's the harm in keeping him in? If you want a competition, what did he do that they wanted to bring in the German kid and not put him in the pathway program when he wouldn't count against the roster? Like, I don't get it.
I don't either. They must have some plan with the pathway player, right? Maybe they have another guy that they're eyeballing, or I mean, frankly, and this is just the other part of it. They kind of know what they have with Lucas Haversick, and they don't think he's going to get any better or any worse, right? Like, I wonder,
or they don't think he has value to other teams.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't think they're all that worried about somebody going and picking up Lucas Haversick. Now, the way you mentioned it, though, Drew, I mean, he did kick well in his time. He's the franchise record holder for the longest field goal made. So
that's a good point.
I'd struggle to think somebody doesn't give him a look.
You would think,
but then
Packers had him, and it was okay at OTAs and stuff. So
they say, why don't you go over there and get some work, and then we're going to call you if we do need you and break classic case of emergency.
A couple things seem to be truths in that regard. Like the Packers are going to leave no stone unturned trying to figure out their kicking issue, or at least to try and find a long-term solution to their kicking issue. And the other thing seems to be that every team in the league seems to be doing this in terms of trying to find a higher threshold for performance for kickers. It's just like we're not sitting around anymore letting a guy go 70% or 75%. It's like, if you kick it 80 to 83%, or we're going to keep trying to find another one and we're going to keep going after it. And the Packers are trying to leave no stone unturned to find it.
Well, and when the guy in Dallas becomes the kind of weapon that he is, I think there's other teams that have at least fantasized. Like, how cool would it be for you to get to the 50 and then be in field goal range? Right. Generally, you got to get another first down to give yourself a chance to score. And he's kind of broken the mold on a lot of those thoughts. So I think there's something to the accuracy of it, Armen. I also think just the length is a big part of it. Like trying to further your scoring range is a big deal. And the Packers have been trying to figure this out since Mason obviously retired, and they haven't knocked it out of the park yet. Maybe also just some cushion because the last time they drafted a kicker in the 6th round didn't go all that well.
Oh, yes. I mean
Carlson was not exactly the greatest moment.
Yeah.
And you've now, if you can look at it, and I wonder if anybody will ask Brian Gutekunst directly about it because of the kicking spot here today, Drew. 2 of your last 3 postseasons have gone by the wayside in large part because of the points you left on the board in the kicking game. Right now, I mean, you lose that San Francisco game in Santa Clara by 3. You left 3 on the board, and it could have been a much different game if you make that one, or if you score a touchdown on the drive. But you lose 7 against the Bears, and it's clear and obvious that they are not going to sit around and wait for this one.
Well, I think that is what it is. I mean, McManus, missing those kicks in that game, I think really changed everything. It's one thing to miss in the regular season at some point and not be 100%, but if you have that PTSD from losing a playoff game because of it, it's just you're going to make changes in that regard.
Packers, Ryan Wood has a story about the Packers know what they need to do to improve, and that's close out games better. And that's an interesting thing because it's like that's hard to quantify. Like, get better at closing out games. Well, get better across the board.
Right?
That's how you execute.
Well, and I think, Drew, you and I saw it so much.
Be more clutch.
Be more clutch. Be more able to withstand the ups and downs of the game, right? And I don't know if you could label that a lot of different things. Some would call it maturity, right? Like the maturity of a football team being able to handle when you go 3 straight 3-and-outs in the 3rd quarter, and the opposing side is giving your lunch to you at the line of scrimmage. How are you able to respond in the 4th when you still got a 2-score lead? That consistency probably does start now. Now, that's a huge coaching cliche. The habits we're building now is how we're going to propel ourselves in November and December. But there's something to the tightness that football team felt like it always played with in 25. Even with sizable leads, you could feel there was a little bit of tightness.
Yep.
And I think that starts at the top, and we'll see if Matt LaFleur has loosened up maybe a little bit after that big contract extension he got this year.
Going to be interesting. All right, Hot Take Hump Day, 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com, talk and text line. Get them to us. Hot takes about the Packers, first day of school here. One thing we explored, Billy, is that I, as an adult, given my chosen line of work, haven't done a lot of sports trips, but this Lambeau training camp, pro shop, Packers Hall of Fame Stadium tour is about as good a day as you can have, and it's about as cheap a trip as you can make.
Oh, 100%. It was my my dad and my last vacation before school would start, or before the youth football practices would start. He would take one of the days off, and generally then you'd be able to crowbar in the doubleheader. You'd get the 2 practices, maybe a night practice there at Ray Nitschke, get the tour in there. It's extremely family friendly. It's very affordable. And the other thing is, it's the closest you get to professional athletes all year long. We talk about it with spring training a lot. And now that's a sizable financial investment, right? Flying out to Arizona, hotels,
lodging, rental cars.
Yeah, lodging and rental car is not cheap at that particular point. But as a big Brewers fan, your chance to see and, potentially mingle and talk to a couple of these players and get a chance to get an autograph and things like that, you're never going to get that access elsewhere in baseball outside of spring training, and never get it during the regular season in the NFL. And the Packers, to their credit, continue to find new ways to market some of it, yes, and cash in. I know my man Aaron Nagler hates the American Family Dream Drive that the bikes have turned into, but my 3-year-old thinks of the Packers players that they ride bikes to work. He thinks they ride the bike to the game because of that day. So like that part is something that is only unique here. But the more and more I get emails from different teams around the league, Drew, because I am sick and twisted and have gotten signed up on all these different chains because I've opened up the cookies on all these different websites. There's a lot of places that charge admission to go to a training camp practice. Yeah. I was floored when I saw that you had to reserve tickets at a lot of institutions, including the one down south, to watch your favorite team at camp. You got to get there maybe a little early and be one of the railbirds hanging out with us. But it is the cheapest way to be able to enjoy and see what these guys go through on a day in and day out basis.
Yeah, everything that makes Green Bay special and that we talk about in terms of the tradition and the romanticism of it is on display during this time of year. The access, being able to, like you said, Billy, walk in, not pay, see everything, be part of it, to create a memory like that where you talk about young Carson. So it is pretty awesome. And it's still something to appreciate in the, coming off the heels of people worried about, will the naming rights be sold and things like that. It's the things like that to appreciate. That's why the Dream Drive doesn't upset me as much, because those are the ways you got to find revenue.
That's for sure. No, they'll find more. They'll find more of them.
So from the talking text line, smart, good-looking listener in Iowa, please send us your name so we can identify you as opposed to just the area code. Trying to teach my soon-to-be 5-year-old how to ride a bike so I can go to camp and get involved in the Dream Drive.
Yes, that's
a destination and that's a memory.
Now, I did ask Carson if he wanted to bring the bike. He goes, I don't know that I like the bikes, but they ride the bikes, so maybe I like them. Okay, well, buddy, you know what? Buddy. You're gonna like the game. You're gonna like the action. You're gonna like what's going on around you, and it's hard not to like what you see. Hopefully, with some Packers football today, because nobody's gonna look bad here today. Today is gonna be very casual, very easy.
Everybody's, as we say, when camp opens, you're unbeaten and unscored upon, and there's no drama. Well, there will be drama. Is Josh Jacobs going to be at camp today?
That would be it. I think that's the most drama-filled thing, and I expect him to be there if he was at mini camp, Drew. And this is best shape of my life season.
Yes,
I'm excited to see who's ready to boast about it.
Anthony Belton.
That Wayne Larrabee was fired up during the draft process about how good he looked. So, and then you get to put it to the test, because Anthony Belton, my man's going to need to be in good shape this camp. He's going to get a lot of reps because he's going to be trying to battle for that right guard spot. And Zach Tom is one of the few that's not on the PUP list that we talked about yesterday. He's not on it, but I imagine there's still going to be a little light on his load over there at right tackle.
By the way, the box was checked. Micah Parsons is on the PUP list.
Onto the PUP list. There it is.
The PUP list. So jobs that are, training camp, again, Armen and I were talking earlier how everything's like conflated. Everything's like overemphasized. And if Jordan Morgan gets beat because he slips on a drill, you're going to see it from 10 different X accounts, and there will be a perception that he sucks and has having a bad camp when it could be just one play that he slipped on, right? It's like, that's how excruciating minutia is what we wallow in this time of year.
Dude, it's wild. And August has just become one of the stranger talking months of the sports calendar, because it used to be, Drew, you'd watch these games and know that you were going to get some legit action with starters and like have some opinions and thoughts of what these teams look like. You don't know anything about that from what the games are doing. And the practice, just like you said, it is practice at the end of the day. There are still the moments where a guy goes out, like in baseball, and throws 15 curveballs in one of his appearances. Jordan Morgan might be only working on inside-out sets in a one-on-one and get cooked by Lucas Van Ness. Now Lucas Van Ness might be a Pro Bowler, and they got to figure out somebody at left tackle. Conversely, he puts Lucas Van Ness on his ass one time, and all of a sudden people are going to be saying, I've been telling you this guy was a bust. So we get big-time opinions out of nothing of real substance outside of just the competitiveness factor.
My early picks to click for Ray Nitschke Field, I'm going to give you 3 guys that I think we'll be watching and get excited about. One of them is Belton.
Okay, I like that one.
I think Belton is going to be in shape, and he's going to show up, and it's going to look like he belongs in the top 5.
And I still think he's an outside chance that he could squeeze in over there at left tackle, depending on what happens with Jordan Morgan.
Potentially. So Belton is one guy. Another guy, Denai Dennis Sutton.
There we go.
Ooh, I like
beautiful. That. One of my draft crushes sitting there.
He's going to pop. He's going to pop because of his work ethic and stuff. I also think I haven't heard a lot about Zaire Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
He might be around the ball a lot and just like, oh yeah, they got this guy and he's like something to watch. But he is not the main guy to me. And this is going to sound dumb, but the guy that we'll be watching, the guy that we'll be tweeting about a lot, is Matthew Golden.
There it is. And I'm glad you and I had the exact same one, because last year, Drew, it felt like it was every day. And then all of a sudden the game started and the faucet turned off.
Yeah. Cause remember Dobbs's first camp or two, like it was like every day he's making a catch. Play a day. Like he's making a catch. And Golden had definitely moments where, that's what they picked him for.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're right. When the season started, he kind of afterthought. He's not an afterthought now. And I think he is ready to pop. And I think the confidence he'll get from his performance against the Bears is going to carry in. And I think he's going to be the guy that we're like, oh, yeah, I forgot about, you're not that you forgot about him, but it's like, oh, yeah, this is like, he's going to like, the shackles will be off a little bit.
I was just going to say, if he can get loosened in the training wheels that I know Dan Orlovsky was talking about with Jordan Love, the whole passing game, and I think Matthew Golden's a part of it, will be freed by that. And in camp, just the sheer athleticism jumps off the field a little bit more too. And that was where last year, I mean, he was running full stride, being able to nab balls across the middle on crossers and deep crossers that he didn't break stride. And you saw the athleticism at least for a tick. So I'm with you. The confidence is going to be a big one. The other piece, the guy for me, opposite of Denai Dennis Sutton, is what on earth is going on with Barron Sorrell? Because as much as the 4th round pick a year ago, 4th round pick, there can be a boom or a bust, right?
That's right.
For every David Bakhtiari, there's probably 5 guys that flame out and more Jamon Moores.
Oh yeah.
Than David Bakhtiari's in that group. But you have a dude who last year was taken out of the SEC in the 4th round, was at the draft on the 2nd day. So his thought that he's maybe going to go a little bit earlier. And it looks like he's done everything right. And then the gameplay in Minnesota was solid enough to be able to think that maybe he takes a little bit of a year 2 jump. I think there's so many reps that those guys at the outside linebacker spot are going to get, Drew, and our attention is going to be tied over there quite a bit because we already know who you're missing first. So who is going to get the first reps together there on the defensive end, at the defensive end spot opposite Lucas Van Ness will be cool to watch. And then how quickly does Brandon Cisse insert himself into that first grouping, or how much does Carrington Valentine hold him off?
It's funny that those guys are the guys that we're talking about, because when Carrington Valentine arrived as a 7th round pick, he was a guy that, look at this guy. And
there was Nitschke All-Star.
There was no doubt. Yeah, he was in Ray Nitschke All-Star. It was like, he's making the team. Like there wasn't, not that like most draft picks for the Packers kind of get a leg up.
For sure.
Even if you are a 7th rounder, you're going to get a fair look.
Yeah,
and
you're
going
right.
to get some rope. But he was popping. And then, he earned his way on, and then his career's been, the water's been choppy, as it often is for young players. But I'll be looking at Brandon Cisse through the prism of how's a 1st round guy compared to the 7th round guy that popped a couple of years ago.
That's fair. A good point.
So I'm like, you expect more, but then he's young and it's a position that you got to grow into. They all come in and take lumps, and he's gonna be chasing down Christian Watson and some pretty good players.
The other one is in the other corner, Damani Jackson, who they got out of Alabama. Unique from the standpoint of my man played at like the most competitive schools his entire life. Played at Modern Day in high school and then at Alabama, and he's been regarded as one of the top prospects coming out of high school and then going into college, get beat up a little bit in the SEC, but his straight line speed is still there. And you don't talk about running with Christian Watson. There's not a whole lot of guys that probably can. A lot of guys that can't necessarily run with Matthew Golden. I'm excited to see how he keeps up and alongside, because there's the Benjamin St. Justs of the world are here for a short time, not a long time, and hopefully a good time. But Damani Jackson, I think, might have some better times than people would anticipate from a 6th rounder.
What about the situation behind Tucker, tight end? I mean, this is a position in the league that's a higher profile position more recently. We know all the guys that went in the draft early. It seems like, obviously Tucker Kraft is somewhat of a known quantity now, but you want to have more guys if you can. You want to have dynamic players there. So there's questions behind him, right, at tight end?
Big time. Well, especially when Musgrave is on the PUP. You don't know how long that stay will be. He better hope that it's short, because Josh Wiley was good before the concussion problem last year, right?
It could be Wiley. I mean, he's been productive. Yeah.
And he can do a lot more stuff, a lot of more varying things, right? He can line up a little bit more in the backfield, can probably line up next to Tucker Kraft on the other side. He can do some of the Tucker Kraft run after catch stuff, where Musgrave is a lot more straight line. You got to find ways to get him the ball. And I still think he's a passing threat. But in terms of how much they need to run the ball, I like the 6'7", 250 kid from Cincinnati a little bit better than the Oregon State Beaver.
Me too. Then there's another one that it's going to be a weird prism that we look at him through, but the bar is set low, so he's probably going to pop. It's Marshawn Lloyd.
That's a good one.
Because we don't know what to expect. We haven't really seen him make a lot of splashy plays on the practice field because of his injuries. You haven't even seen him much on the practice field. And this year he's expected to be carrying a little bit more of a load with Emmanuel Wilson gone. He's expected to be the number 2, and he's going to get a lot of totes in camp if he can stay healthy and stay on the field. So there's a guy, it's like, I think even seeing him go through drills will be like a revelation. Right?
True. And my favorite part of doing the training camp broadcast with Wayne, being on the side of the bleachers, is getting to get like the full reaction from the fans of the oohs and ahs. I expect Marshawn Lloyd gets the most. Right now, Matthew Golden a year ago got a ton, and every time he did anything, there was excitement. You could hear like an audible gasp of the fans wanting to see what he was going to do. Every time Marshawn Lloyd stands up,
that's it,
off of going onto the ground, you will hear a little bit of a pop, right? Like, okay, sweet, nice. All right, back up. Because I do believe, like, we know when he touches the ball, he can be electric. But you just, the suddenness of how does he react after the play will be so overblown that I think it'll take over some more of the conversation. Maybe it eases some of the stress on him. He's in the most the biggest make it or break it year out of anybody on the team for Marshawn Lloyd, because of the opportunities that are going to be in front of him. And another one that I don't think a lot of us anticipated, we knew Josh Jacobs was going to be a question mark. I don't think anybody was anticipating Chris Brooks, the third down lockdown pass protector, being there on the NFI list. And maybe that adds even more reps on him. Or Pierre Strong Jr.'s plate, who Wayne Larrabee was excited to let us know about on Friday.
Absolutely. So, but you're totally right, Billy. I mean, it's going to be about Marshawn Lloyd getting up. There's not going to be more anticipation for a man getting up than Charlie's grandpa in the Willy Wonka movie. Remember that? When he got out of bed, I mean, the pop, you're right. I mean, that's the big thing. It's like, can he stay healthy? Can he recover from a regular tackle, a regular play? Because unfortunately, every time he seemed to make one, it's like, oh no, he's down again. So there's that anticipation. It's ramped up a bit because of the Jacobs situation, because you kind of need running backs. But it was exciting when Wayne talked about Pierre like that. I was like, oh, okay.
It sat up in the chair a little bit.
Wayne sees something, no doubt. I'm going to look forward to. So like, that's the way I look at it. And I also hope tonight Dennis Sutton pops, because I want to call him DDS and I want to call him the dentist. That's my goal, to make that the nickname for him.
The dentist.
DDS, dentist, doctor of dental surgery.
The evil dentist.
I think that's going to catch on for sure.
Right.
I'm ready for
it. I definitely think it's going to catch on. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to catch on.
Print shirts.
So
the dentist.
Another guy that you got to watch is St. Juice, right? Because is he the Nate Hobbs of this year, where he splashes early? You got to tell him to dial it back. He's too enthusiastic, then gets hurt, and then
walking down Lombardi with his cleats off.
I don't think St. Juice is going to be walking with the cleats off, but I do wonder how they use him, because if he's anything more, Drew, than a depth piece, that might fly in the face of what we were just talking about with Brandon Cisse and Carrington Valentine. I didn't think he's a part of that competition and conversation for the number 2 job. If all of a sudden he is, then it is some different thoughts about the young man coming from Los Angeles, because he looked like a great number 3 or number 4. A number 2, yikes.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. It's Hot Take Hump Day. Get them to us, 877-794-1973. It's halftime of the week and halftime of the show. Our halftime correspondent is in Iceland on a cruise or something.
Oh, enjoying way too much.
Some fun. Dolph will have some stories for us next week. But we soldier on. Billy is in for just a minute because he's on his way up to Lambeau for the first training camp practice. Training camp live, airing at 11 o'clock. 2 hours of training camp breakdowns with Billy and Wayne Larrabee in their happy place. We've got some stuff to get to. We'll tell you who's hot and who's not. Brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. We'll continue to take your hot takes. 877-794-1973. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Wednesday. Drew, Billy, and Armen. Billy's on his way up to Green Bay for training camp live. The first day of Packers camp. It's like Christmas morning for the kid. You and Wayne sitting in the perch.
Man, especially then when our friend Luke Sampe puts out 75 and sunny.
Perfect.
Come on now.
Perfect.
Oh
yeah.
That's like a country song.
Yeah,
Will Nags drop by the broadcast station at all?
Nags might drop by today. He is definitely going to drop by on Friday. Unknown to him, he is going to be sitting in with me for a little bit longer on Friday. We're going to work out those details.
All right.
Compensation coming up a little bit later on here today. But yeah, so he's going to stop by. Potentially some others might stop by. Some old friends might stop by as well. And then, anybody that comes by and says hi, you get this one. See Wayne Larrivee in the flesh, which is probably probably the biggest thrill. He does sign daggers. They sell daggers in the pro shop, and he does sign them. So there's Sharpies there. There will be Sharpies there that you could get a dagger signed by Wayne Larrivee potentially.
Yeah.
As long as there's not one-on-ones happening in front of us, because that might happen. Then we might have to wait till the break.
That's the most brilliant memorabilia marketing since they started giving Gilbert Brown shovels to travel with for autographs.
Smart,
right?
When he started signing those shovels. Now, Billy, is that one of your favorite? What's the favorite quirk tradition of camp? Is it that one, or is it seeing the same thing tweeted by 10 different beat writers in a row, or the coaches wearing hoodies on an 80-degree day, or what food Matt Schneidman has in his backpack? What's the favorite one?
Now that's a good one. Now the Luke Butkus sweating through the sweatshirt, the offensive line coach before practice starts.
Love it.
That's a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Now that part is often bolstered and maybe loved up on even more by me when the offensive line runs over to the fan section and Luke Butkus, before they start their first drill, makes one of the rookies run all the way down on both ends of the bleachers to get the crowd fired up. All right, you got to get them going here today. So, because then that there has been rock, paper, scissors through the 4 offensive rookies. God dang it, I sure hope that it doesn't have to be me. I already know that I'm going to have to run because I'm doing 3 separate guys' jobs here today. I don't want to run 60 yards, but I'll do it. And I'll fire them up, and that generally gets the crowd going in the right fashion before they start throwing the ball around.
My favorite training camp tradition will be when Matt Schneidman posts a picture of Rob Domofsky's bald head from behind.
Yes, the sweating bald head of Rob Domofsky's a winner. Yes, no doubt about it.
Always a tradition unlike any other.
I like watching. I was hard on the grounds crew guys yesterday. I like watching ours have to drag the goalposts around on the wheels.
Yeah.
That's true. That's always one I like, and they're usually not. Now that I think of it, they weren't driving like John Deere Gators. They were actually pulling them. That's like a great workout. So that's always another fun one to watch. So
watching Larry McCarron enjoy practice is a treat because he's in the mix. He's out there. He's rolling, and you can tell whenever the offensive lineman and defensive lineman converge. He's like, all right, I have to cease whatever conversation's going on over here. I'm getting over here because there's a lot of people that are there for the chat over on the other side, and there's a lot of people that are waiting anxiously to remove themselves from the chat and get themselves over to more of the football. So I enjoy watching. The people watching is just as good as the football watching.
If you want to be different, hey, cheer for the defense. I mean, everyone else is going to cheer for the offense. It's always like, can these guys make plays?
Well, you guys are talking about going to road games earlier on. That is the road game.
Yeah,
it's a road game every day for the defense. So you're right.
Is up against it.
It's the
you're right,
pass
Armen.
line.
Throw your Edrin Cooper jersey on and go cheer for the guys in green one time.
Hey, time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Billy, who do you got for Who's Hot, Who's Not? By the way, Donovan Jorgensen, the heat has abated, the humidity has abated, but those problems. If furnace tune-up time is not, we told you in March to think about your air conditioner. We're telling you now when it's hot to think about your furnace.
Correct.
But they got you either way. DonovanJorgensen.com, employee owned for 40 years. Who do you got for Who's Hot and Who's Not?
Well, I was about to say the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be hot yesterday when they had back-to-back home runs in the 9th inning to tie it when they went in down 6-3. Paul Sewald, closer for the Diamondbacks, who's generally been really good. He's only blown 3 saves on the year. Did the patented Drew double homer fly out to deep center field. They're like, all right, well, we've seen enough. Paul Sewald in the not category. Although his Diamondbacks come back and win it, Both teams score in the 10th. Neither scored in the 11th. Diamondbacks won it in the 12th. Both of those two games of that series, a battle for the last wild card spot in the National League, have gone into extra innings the last 2 days, and they have split. So that should be a good series finale coming up today. Cubs scored and just went all over in the first inning against the Cards yesterday and held on to win 10-2. However, the Cubs just continue to win. The Brewers have as well. Both teams have won 7 of their last 10. And as good as the Cubs have been out of the break, I don't think I've realized that they're 15 games over 500 right now. They haven't picked up a single game since the All-Star break.
Yeah, it's impressive what the Brewers have done to hold them off because they have been hot. They've been playing really well. And if it wasn't for the Brewers continuing to win, that probably would be a bigger factor. But they continue to put the pressure on. So there's no question. I think that's going to continue. I mean, that's just my opinion, but their run differentials there, all these different things. The Cubs will be good the rest of the way, probably. So you have to kind of keep holding them off. They remain to be hot. And go ahead, Bill. You had one more.
Oh, yeah. And finally, the last one that I was going to roll in here with was the Detroit Tigers as they try to keep their ace starter. They win not 1, not 2, but 14-0. Poor Dean Kramer in the not category. My man gave up 8 runs, all earned on 8 hits yesterday for the O's.
Hey, I saw one I thought you might be interested in too. Speaking of hot, Ole Miss is hot. They're suing 2 of their former players for breach of
going
contract
with Lane Kiffin.
The LSU. So there's going to be a lot more waxy buildup there. There's nothing like some SEC kind of bad blood, and I'm sure that's developing. And it's going to be interesting now as we kind of matriculate through the NIL years, how many of these things start to happen where guys are leaving and not, fulfilling quote unquote contracts. Are they contracts? What are they making? We don't know.
We don't know what they're making.
So all these things. So the Ole Miss is hot about that. They're sending kind of a shot over the bow to LSU, I think.
And also what's hot in college football, maybe not necessarily who's hot, but what's hot. Jersey patches are hot in college football.
Oh, yeah. After
yesterday, it was JP Morgan Chase, as we were getting off the air, nearing $17 million annually to have a JP Morgan Chase Bank logo on all 36 athletic team at Ohio State. About an hour and a half later, Notre Dame said, hold my beer, as the Golden Domers have reached a multi-year deal with SoFi that will place the financial service company brand on Fighting Irish jerseys in every sport starting this season. The six-year deal is worth $18 to $20 million per year, according to sources believed to be the richest in college athletics history. It's the first time a corporate logo will appear on any Notre Dame jersey. Just about any of them, because they just allowed it now.
Do you ever think you'd see a corporate logo on a college jersey? But I mean, why not? I mean, it makes total sense now, but it's so foreign to what we thought might happen like 10 years ago when they were afraid.
So
crazy. Yeah.
With the pop that Ed Policy got at the shareholders meeting, Packers fans prefer a name on Lambeau Field of a corporate brand or a jersey patch?
That's a great question, Billy.
Jersey patch.
I think you have to say that, even though I think both would probably be detestable to some fans. If you had to pick one over the other, you're probably picking the jersey patch. At least I am. I know if I had to pick the Sophie's Choice there, it's the jersey patch.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily be all that close to me. Like, it would definitely be jersey patch, because I think like it's just now tied into it to the point where you buy an NBA jersey. They've had patches on the NBA jersey for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an NBA? Is it a Bucks jersey if it didn't have that big old Motorola run right there on the logo? I saw Darren Ravel was talking about it. He's like, well, if the collectors won't want it, if it doesn't have the patch, that's a weird little back and forth of how some people would hate it, some people would despise it, but international soccer's been putting their whole front doesn't even have a logo. It just says fly with Emirates.
And that's kind of the brilliance of that for them, and the marketing is that it's become so much part of the uniform that you want that on. It's like, oh, you're not going to have a real uniform unless you have the real advertiser on there. As a kid, I remember seeing European jerseys and saying, like, why would anyone want a jersey with the thing like that? But now it's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have the real patch because I don't have the Harley logo or whatever it was. Yeah. Like you said. So it's a pretty interesting way our sports culture changes.
Is there a company that would split the baby when it came to naming rights and buy the rights to say it's Lambeau Field inside Culver Stadium?
It's not stadium, right?
And then that's the official name, but everybody still just calls it Lambeau Field.
Mile High.
Yeah. See, that one to me would have to be like Northwestern Mutual. Right? Like if I'm Northwestern Mutual, I'd absolutely allow you to do that. Lambeau Field presented by Northwestern Mutual. or like right or
Yeah.
Or Lambeau Field. It's Lambeau Field at Northwestern Mutual Stadium. Lambeau,
Right.
like there would be a way to do
Lambeau
it.
Field.
It's
like
gonna
the,
be some way,
But you
shape, or
can't
form,
change it.
fashion,
Like
right?
it can't, like he said, like it can't be Lambeau Field won't change. But to your point,
I mean, but
Billy,
I saw the young man wearing the shirt that said it's still Miller Park to me.
Yeah.
I mean, like the people are going to call it what they call it.
Right,
Like that one to me isn't necessarily. Nobody calls Arrowhead GEHA Field.
Sure.
Outside
Yeah,
of Jim
that's
Nance.
true.
Outside of Jim Nance when he has to welcome you into the broadcast with him and his partner who was going to Grandma's house. I was going to Grandma's house. All right, going to Grandma's house.
Hey, that wasn't so bad of a.
All right. By the way, I
whatever.
got a hot take on that. But first, I want to remind folks that Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin presents our injury updates. Jake
Yes.
Bowers fouls a ball off his big toe. Looks like he's got a broken big toe. He does, but it's an old injury, and he's not going to go on the IL because the MRI showed that it's an old injury. It's not a new fracture, so it's a pain tolerance thing. That's good news for him.
Yeah, but
He
toes
says
are
he could have pinch hit last night.
If I'm Jake Bowers, I'm telling everybody that.
Yeah.
I just walked around with a broken toe, just so you guys know.
Yeah. Also, it's like
You
no,
guys
I'm
really
fine.
want to sacrifice. I have a broken toe, but I'm fine. I've had it for like a year.
It's like
and a half.
having the best year of your career. Don't take me out of the lineup, please.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Clinic opening in Johnson Creek in September of this year. In fact, they're starting to advertise that they could, if you're looking for a gig, they have all kinds of positions open at the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin Clinic to open in September in Johnson Creek. Their facilities are top notch. So is the care. Check them out, orthowisconsin.com.
And injured toes can be painful.
Oh, big time.
I mean, you always think about a toe. What's the
Absolutely.
big deal? It can be very
Absolutely.
painful. Unless you're Micah, then it's a good thing. But
All right. So Billy alluded to it. I'm going to do the classic radio tease.
Come on now.
You had I'm going to do a spinoff. I have a hot take spinning off of the Tony Romo arrest in our parts. And that is coming up next.
That
Stay
apparently
tuned for
everything
this
becomes
one.
cops.
Stay tuned for that. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Billy's going to be dipping pretty soon to get over to Lambeau Field for the practice and for the show today. Training Camp Live, 11 a.m.
Cannot
Destination Radio with you and Wayne Larrabee at the helm on the perch, watching the Packers go about their practice. Now, they'll already be starting drills when you guys fire up because you're going to skip all the stretching and boring stuff, right?
Yes, we're going to get out of the way of that. We will be in the filming period of special teams and then get right into team. And then we'll actually have a little bit of time each day after practice, probably about 25, 30 minutes after they wrap up to kind of just discuss and see what else we heard and maybe hear a little bit of the head coach and today maybe a little bit of the GM because it's only one of the 5 days you hear from them.
I've got a sizzling hot take for you momentarily. But first, our current electric superhero of the game. We talked about the importance of the Brewers rallies coming out of thin air yesterday. 2 out, nobody on, and you end up scoring 2 or 3 runs. Huge.
Big time stuff, dude.
And Pratt and Lara continue to impress as rookies. But our current electric superhero of the day is going to be Logan Henderson.
Come on now. Big innings.
Throw a 32, 33 pitch first inning. You're not, and there's bullpen activity. You're not exactly envisioning, he's going to get into the 6th and get 2 outs in the 6th before leaving. 33 pitches in the first inning, 93 through 5 2/3, and he looks really good. And the kid is putting together quite a body of work here in a small sample, granted.
Yes.
But 3 runs or fewer in each of his first 14 career starts, the longest in Brewers franchise history. He almost had it tied his career high yesterday for going to 6 innings, and he's talking about getting into the 7th.
Oh, I love that.
He's like, that's the next step is getting the 7th. He credited the strength and conditioning staff for that, but it was a gritty outing, and he is our current electric superhero of the day, brought to us by callcurrent.com. Current electric, superheroes on the side of the van, superheroes inside the van.
Yes.
Who can help you out with all your electrical needs. But
it might not have as sweet of a mustache as Logan Henderson, but they're going to work just as hard.
Yeah.
They're going to work just as hard. Drew, that first inning also he was about to get out of the inning, and then whatever happened over at first base. I mean, I understand the wind was howling there yesterday. Bryce Durang put the hands on the knees though, when he looks at Andrew Vaughn like, brother, are you kidding me? You didn't catch that thing? And then Devers hauls off for like a 10 or 11 pitch at bat. You did think it was going to be a different day, and huge credit to Logan Henderson to be able to eat those innings yesterday.
He's our current electric superhero because he's putting together quite the body of work. I'm starting to think that maybe he is untouchable now. Because I thought, you got to throw him in because they're going to want a big league pitcher in exchange for Scooble or somebody. Well,
that threesome of Mizorowski, Harrison, and Henderson, all sub 25 and all controllable for the next 4 years and all really, really good, all sub 3 ERAs right now. That's pretty crazy.
Okay, so ready for a sizzling hot take?
I'm excited for this one. Come on now.
We saw the Tony Romo video and
couldn't not see it.
We joke. Yeah, you're right.
Because everywhere.
It's the body cam video of his arrest on suspicion of OWI. And we like to talk about having a good time here. We like talking about having some pops. We don't condone the operating while intoxicated. Always get an Uber, be safe, pace yourself, do whatever you have to do to avoid the danger of driving while impaired. Right? That's the mission.
That is a statement.
However, Tony Romo, thankfully, didn't hurt himself or anybody else. Kyle Shanahan, on the other hand, driving not impaired, but inattentively, going on a windy road to fetch his cell phone as crossing the center line and hitting another vehicle, causing both airbags to deploy and messing himself up. Thankfully, the other driver was not, but he's like hit a 19-year-old girl head on. And then initially the report was that it was her fault. And it's like, no, he corrected the record yesterday when he talked about it. He's had some plastic surgery. His face was messed up. That was a horrific accident. And you can like not be impaired and still be, irresponsible.
Dude, it is the biggest danger of it. And as somebody who admits to driving somewhat unattentively at times, and it is the one thing that I get maddest at myself for doing, it's a wild wake-up call because you hear about the stories every single time, and the old school what we talked about with Brendan Sorsby. There's a 45-minute meeting inside the cafeteria about not texting and driving. And then what do you do when you get into the car after school? All right, sweet. Let me see who ride through it. Oh, wait, I got to get this wristband that says don't text and drive off while I do it. And it's one of the most dangerous things you can possibly do. Big ups to Kyle Shanahan for stating that and saying it, because apparently I mean, now, I don't know. These are all personal situations, so it's a different thing to report on. But it sounds like this was somewhat known by some people around, and like it was held and whole, like waited for and embargoed.
As
almost.
it turned out, had the story popped right when it happened, it would have had more churn and it would have made him look worse than it does in retrospect when he's like, okay, he's going to miss a couple practices and then he's going to be ready for the first game and he'll be going with us on that road trip. And he credited his plastic surgeon, and his friends are saying his mustache saved him and stuff, like
40 stitches,
joking about it. But damn, that's as bad.
Yes,
as
100%.
And okay, so he wasn't on his phone sending a text, but he was looking for his phone because it slid off his lap.
Yeah. Looking for my phone to totally not send a text.
Was Diana Rossini on the other end? I mean,
no, she was talking to Kevin O'Connell.
All right, well, that's
she was talking to Kevin O'Connell.
All right, but that was bad too, and I'm not diminishing what Romo did as a potential mistake, but that was bad as well. All right, Billy's got to go.
I'll see you boys. Be safe.
Right.
Keep
we'll
the
be
car
listening.
on the road.
We got another hour of the huddle.
I'm Doug Russell. In Monday night's series opener in San Francisco, the Brewers were listless and a dull 3-0 loss where they could muster up just 3 hits. And you found out part of the reason why. Travel delays for several hours made a long flight to the West Coast take more than twice as long as it should have. Game 2, with some shut-eye, the bats came alive.
Into the cap in right center for Lara. He's going to run forever. It's off the top of the wall. That will score 1. Vaughn being waved around third. The throw coming home is late. Vaughn scores on a 2-run triple by Lara.
Jeff Levering on Brewers TV with the call. Milwaukee with the 8-2 victory at Oracle Park. Logan Henderson, the star in this one. He gives up just 2 hits in 5 2/3 innings of work. He's now 5-1 on the season. He struck out 7 and walked just 2. The series finale is later today, starting at 2:45. Shane Drowan will pitch against Logan Webb. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you. You need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
Armen,
This is
Sarian.
it. Don't get scared now.
Sid says we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Welcome, 7 o'clock clubbers, to the Huddles. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on that iHeart app of yours. Streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Bill Schmid has left the party. He's going to another party, arguably a better party.
Awesome.
Packers, first day of training camp. He'll be broadcasting live with the voice of the Packers and our friend Wayne Larrivee. That will take place from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that's going to be throughout camp. So we'll be skating shorthanded on the Huddle, but Hunter's going to be in for Armen later this week. And that's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow, Friday and Monday, as I traverse off to my cousin's wedding, see some family this weekend. Should be a good time. Getting a couple days of off of this show. I don't know that it's going to be very busy, so it won't be vacation, but it'll be a couple days off. Going to be a lot of fun. Excited
Cousin's
for that.
wedding, big family gathering. Going to be fun. All right. It's Hot Take Hump Day. NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Want your hot takes? This is from Jeff in Fitchburg. I don't know if this is a hot take. It's very hot, but I think Luis Lara has Wally pipped Sal Frelick. I know baseball is different. They rotate in platoons, so he'll get time. But the starter going forward is Lara, and maybe Sal's part of a deadline deal.
I don't think it's that crazy of a take when you start thinking about what Sal's skills are and his future in the organization. Not to take anything away from Sal, but the reality
I like
is,
Sal too, but but from what we've seen, you see why Lara has got the long-term deal.
And if Garrett stays healthy, he does this. I mean, in my opinion, I said it 2 years ago and got roundly criticized for it, but it's true. Garrett does a lot more for you offensively, skill-wise, than Sal does. Now, Sal's big value, obviously, besides the emotional lift he gives you and his team kind of first attitude, and he had a good hitting year last year, which, as we know, it wasn't barrel rate, but he was able to, his hustle, his heart, those type of things, was his defense. And Sal's defense hasn't been the same since his Gold Glove year. Not that it's bad, but it just doesn't excel and give you the team value as much. Yeah. So it's not that Sal has no place.
And Lara's pretty good.
Lara's good with the glove, and Lara's bat. So I think Sal projects as a fourth outfielder, honestly, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But I think that's the reality of his place in this team.
He's Caleb Durbin 2.0. Nice player. We like having him, but if he can get you something back,
I think the tricky part for the organization is the reality of that, knowing the emotional ties he has with the fan base now.
Well, and that's what Dustin in the 608 hits
that's
upon.
The problem.
Dustin writes in and says, I've got a friend who perceives Sal Frelick as untouchable in trade deals. I disagree. I see the guy as an expendable 250 batting average guy.
Certain guys have a cult hero kind of following. I don't know how to describe what Sal's done, but he's become sort of a mythical idol in terms with Brewers fans. Not to say he's not a good player or anything like that, but his story is so synonymous now with the DNA of the team and the Brewers fans in this era, with this group, that a lot of Brewers fans are emotionally tied to him, and they think of him differently than I think you would have another guy with those same numbers. And I don't want to sound disrespectful, but it's reality. And I remember, what was it, 3-4 weeks ago when we started thinking about, would Sal be untouchable in the trade situation? We got into the big debate in the show, because I think a lot of fans might look at that the way they've looked at Hader, even though I don't think Sal's had the same impact. Now, he did a couple. He had the Gold Glove year, and he had a really good year last year when he was hitting. Now he's had some injury stuff like that, but the way Lara's come up and been able to be an impact, and more importantly, the way Mitchell's kind of surprised us this year, staying healthy and being as good as he has been, he's been the revelation, where you do have sort of a glut of players in the outfield, Drew, and he's part of that.
877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Get us your hot takes. We will traffic in those throughout the program. We mentioned big Brewers victory. Obviously, Packers are the big story today because the Packers begin training camp. We got a Goody news conference that may or may not produce a headline or two, at least some nuggets. Matt LaFleur's first availability of camp, and then the guys are going to be cavorting. Once again, can't encourage you enough. It'll be a great Brewers pregame to listen to Billy and Wayne. And then the Brewers play at 2:30 when the Packers are done for the day.
Mm-hmm. Could be awesome.
So that's a pretty good sports day. I'm looking forward to watching the Brewers game because I haven't seen too many. I've seen the condensed games and the highlights of the last two nights because they're on the West Coast and we're in bed.
Yeah, the West Coast trip's very hard for us, obviously, Drew, as you know, to catch the whole thing. But today's a great opportunity for it. See if the Brewers can go and take another series. It feels like they haven't lost a series in forever. I don't know. I'm sure it was. What was it? The Pittsburgh one? But it just feels like the Brewers never lose series anymore. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, they got a chance tonight they got a chance today. And again, off day tomorrow, family trip, a lot of layers to this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And with the trading deadline is just so delicious to talk about and to spin through the possibilities. And the Tigers...
Yeah.
Are they in it? Are they out? What are they doing? That's like the first domino, but there's other guys, like a lot of catchers are going to be, are being talked about. A lot of teams need catchers. The Yankees need bats. Everybody needs pitching because you can never have enough. If the Brewers don't get a Tarek Skubal and the Dodgers do, how deflating will that be? That's something to think about as we move forward. So, so much in the offing with the Brewers in these next couple of weeks. Hey, we have Paul Hansen has a deal for you. I'm wearing Iron Jock today. Billy was wearing Iron Jock. Armen had it on yesterday. Through this weekend, get 50% off all Iron Jock large logo hoodies and tees with code Butch50. Shout out to our buddy Butchie. 50% off large logo hoodies and tees Iron Jock gear, you know it, you love it. Wicking fabric, 4-way stretch, anti-static performance, silver ion technology, no odor. The bacteria that makes your clothes stink, you won't have any of that. Shop at ironjoc.com. By the way, Butchie and our friends, we haven't forgotten. We haven't talked about it as much because it's not as immediate, but those people cleaning up in Menasha,
Yes.
Nina, Appleton, we're thinking of you because, God, that was devastating. Still chilling. I've tailed off. I only watched a couple videos yesterday.
Yeah.
Of the carnage and stuff. I think I've seen most of but man, those shelf clouds and what happened up there, Mother Nature, was quite frightening. So again, we're thinking about everybody and still haven't heard about a lot of injuries or any fatalities yet, which is stunning given the breadth of that storm.
That's the blessing of this whole thing is seems like that hasn't happened. And thank goodness for that, because as we know, there are some things that can't be replaced, although it's devastating. The destruction, the property and things like that, and the turmoil and the upheaval of people's lives, some things can't be replaced. So hopefully we've been spared the worst in that sense. But yeah, you mentioned reaching out to Butch, and I know I heard from him too yesterday. So he feels fortunate he was not in the direct line of the storm, and said it would be a lot different if they were. But some people were, and we're thinking about them for sure.
Yep. Armen, you're catching strays from Statman Steve.
Yeah, let's go.
South Beach, sorry, and out the next few days. Another wedding. Damn.
Yeah.
This guy attends a lot of weddings.
Not in the South Beach though. This one, no.
Your weddings. That was a bachelor party. Was this the same? Was this the bachelor party for this wedding?
Same one. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
This is my cousin.
Continuing a theme.
A theme that was ubiquitous for me about 10 years ago when I was in a lot of weddings, and I thought that, there was a couple summers when it was just peaking, and then I was like, all right, I'm on the downside of the bell curve. But this is family. This is my cousin. He's getting married, so we're taking the trip out to DC for this one. A lot of great things planned to see family, cousins. Pretty excited about this. So yeah, thanks. I know Statman Steve's always giving it to me, but he's always in the best way. So I appreciate you, Steve. Yeah, I appreciate that. It'll be a lot of fun, and we'll have a good time.
Yep. Keep them coming. 877-794-1973. Even if you're going to throw some strays,
we love
Armen's
it.
way.
We love it. The comments as well coming in on YouTube, the video stream as well, Drew, as you know. Troy chiming in. Maybe this is a hot take. If we can trade Sal and get in a World Series, I'll appreciate him even more. Well, yeah, of course. Of course. We all want to win the World Series.
Yeah.
But you can't guarantee those things on moves. So it becomes sort of unproductive when it's like, well, if this guy means a World Series, yes, we'll all be happy about that. Anyone in the world would trade Sal right now if you could get a ticket to a World Series victory given to you.
For sure.
But that's not the way the world works.
It's not the way the world works.
It's not the way sports works. Can you put yourself in position? The Brewers are going to try. They've been
Interestingly, there's no drums beating from inside the clubhouse. Brewers are laser focused. Murph's got this win today, and Murph kind of tamped down expectations, didn't he? Last week, saying, I don't think we're going to get any of those guys, but we're happy with what we got.
I think he approaches it as and he wants his players to approach it in a manner of which you can't assume we're going to get guys, and I don't want you thinking that way.
Exactly.
I want you thinking
then you sag if the help doesn't arrive. But
you have to win with the guys in the clubhough. Like Bryce Harper yesterday said that. Yeah,
I was just going to say, Bryce Harper, after they lost their fourth in a row, since their fourth straight series since the break, they've lost. That's not good. The Phillies, and he was asked about the trade deadline, and he said, I think we need some help. And they lost to the Marlins, who were previously horrible.
Yeah.
So the Phillies have lost 8 out of 11 since break. They've lost all 4 series. They've scored 1 run or fewer in 6 of 11 games. And I appreciate Bryce Harper's honesty, but I think we need some help. So they're looking outwardly, and if they don't get help, then imagine the deflation there.
Yeah, other quotes. I think we proved pretty much all year we've done a pretty good job, but anytime you can get some help in here and reinforcements, I think it helps. Well, that's of course true. There's nothing controversial about that.
No.
He said a bat asked if that help would be best coming in form of an arm or a bat. Harper said, I think both. I think obviously everybody knows what we need. I've said over the last couple of days, we need both. But isn't that true of a lot of teams? I mean, that's true of everybody. I mean, all he's saying is we want more help, and that's true. But I think the team's hoping for that. You're not going to see a lot of help available during this trade deadline. And I don't think it's the same way it was 10, 20 years ago, Drew, where there were teams all over the place in this arms race during the deadline to get people. And a lot would be made of the clubhouses that didn't get anybody, and they didn't get the emotional lift. I don't know if that's the case as much, but yeah, I mean, Bryce Harper pretty much just said it out, honestly, but said it out there like we need help, and they haven't scored enough runs lately, that's for sure.
They haven't, absolutely.
But they're trying to chase the Braves down,
Brewers need help too, just saying. But again, Brewers, what a position they're in. Tied for the best record in baseball, brimming with assets in the minor leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Basically can write their own ticket of what they want to do. If they want to go for the big fish, they can. If they want to shoot smaller, they can, and preserve the farm system. But at a certain point, the farm system, like some of the guys are already here. Again, there's only a couple guys, Made, maybe a couple guys that you would consider untouchable. Like on the big league roster, Frelick, I think is tradable. I don't know that I would trade Garrett Mitchell, but he's potentially tradable because of what they've got. Like if you love Sal Frelick, put him in right and put Lara in center, or vice versa.
Sure,
can live with it. They have so many options.
It's just
a dizzying array of options.
Which box do you take? Yeah. Or do you say, all right, we're just going to keep going with the guys we got? You could try that too. That's another option. I mean, it's pretty interesting. It's funny when I don't know about you, Drew, like if I was a GM or a personnel guy and I put a team together that I thought should be good and you're underperforming and you say, well, we need help. Wouldn't the GM say the same thing back to the players? Like, well, you need to be better.
Exactly.
I need help from you.
Yes.
Why aren't you winning more? Why is it on me to add more? Aren't you supposed to be good? Like, I'm sure that's what Dave Dombrowski's thinking.
We're paying you. Look at our payroll,
in Philly.
Yeah.
Why are you 57 and 51 when I have you on the lineup? So I don't know. It's, some teams are aggressive and they always want to add. Dodgers are a great example. They're as equipped as anybody to keep doing it, to keep loading their gun up. Like, they can do it. The Phillies can do it. The Brewers can do it. But as you know, once you get into the nitty gritty, once the playoffs start, it's about who's playing well that day. So you just try and load up as much as you can, I suppose, and push the margin in your favor to get the best guys in the field and hope it goes your way.
That's right.
But the right now, Philly is 6 games back of the first place Braves and holding tenuously to a wild card spot. But those things will be changing in the next couple months. It should be heating up.
Yep. Hot Take Hump Day, 877-794-1973. Hot Take. In the least surprising story in sports yesterday, the Las Vegas Raiders announced that Kirk Cousins is their starting quarterback.
Yeah, not too surprising, right?
Fernando Mendoza is going to get slow walked. It'll be not quite a Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation where you serve an apprenticeship and hold a clipboard for a couple of years. More like a couple games. But Fernando Mendoza starts the season watching Kirk Cousins, and they're going to bring him along, and he'll work with the second units and the third units along with Aiden O'Connell. And this is like predetermined because Clint Kubiak, who's worked with Cousins before, made the call, made the announcement, and they're bringing him along. And he's the first. I think this snaps a run of like 6 straight number 1 overall quarterbacks started right away, week 1. And he will not. The last guy to not start week 1 was Baker Mayfield.
Wow, about that. I remember when that was also.
But Baker Mayfield started 13 games as a rookie, but he didn't start week 1.
Yeah. I think it was Carson Palmer when he was just going way back. When he was drafted and they decided we're going to sit John Kitna, or we're going to sit him behind John Kitna for a year. And then obviously Rodgers and Love. But that's it. It's pretty interesting. I don't think it's a bad way to do it. He's probably the most ideal mentor.
I think so too. And this is, and remember, one of the guys that's orchestrating this is Tom Brady.
Tom Brady running that whole thing.
Who's running that thing and making some of these, has input on some of these decisions. Now, with that said, again, like, I don't know, Francisco Mendoza might take over at some point, or Kirk Cousins could hold the job all year. I don't know how to play. It depends on how Kirk Cousins is, how healthy he is, how effective he is, and what Mendoza looks like and how quickly he adapts to the pro game.
Right. Maybe he'll surprise and be good. Maybe they'll want to,
and maybe they'll accelerate the curve, or they'll be so bad that they need, and who knows, if Cousins could get hurt. Conversely, another former number 1 overall pick at quarterback, Kyler Murray, going to be splitting time with JJ McCarthy. That looks like kind of a competition. They're both going to work with the 1s. They're both going to work with the 2s. That's more of an open derby, although most people expect Kyler Murray to be the starter.
I think so. I think he's better,
but they're making it look like an open competition.
They want him. They're doing everything they can to give JJ every shot to be the starter, which is funny. It seems to be clear and obvious that they're so pot committed that they're trying everything they can. Sometimes you think that doesn't happen, and Billy's talked about it too. It's like when a guy's drafted, you give him that credit. Like, they will try everything to make J.J. McCarthy work, to make it a thing. Like, fetch isn't going to happen. Like, I don't think it is, but like Kyler Murray to me is more obviously a good player, but it seems like they really want to make it a competition, and they've kind of fostered that rivalry. Remember that little line about how they're sitting in both sides of the room? J.J. McCarthy said that in an awkward way, so it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be Kyler Murray to start. I mean, it seems like he's a better player, but we'll see. That's a guy that could have an interesting year if things go right for him. If he stays healthy in the indoors and the turf, this might be an ideal environment for Kyler Murray with the talent around him. I wouldn't be surprised if he surprised some people and played well. I'm not cheering for it. Trust me. You know that, but I don't want that. Pete Chang, 5845. I don't know if this is a hot take, but it's a take. He said Mason Miller is the only piece I would add. If not, then nobody. He's saying he doesn't want anybody else if it's not Mason Miller. He also added, this is on the YouTube comments, you could get a stud closer for 3 more years. That's thinking of the future. And I would add also the present. So that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Dustin, if the Brewers can add any starter that can pitch 2 games in a series higher than numbers and bat higher than number 6 in the order, then I'll be over the moon.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, you want them to play and pitch, but if you really want to get a difference maker, it's not just how they do it, it's how well they do it. Right.
I thought it was funny, like with the CJ Abrams being mentioned, like Andrew Fisher looks like he could be the third baseman next year already.
Yeah.
You know, it could be. And like that, look at that infield. My goodness.
The Brewers were in a unique position this year where their team on the field was very good, and the guys they had coming up were as exciting as anything else.
And I'm thinking if Made is ready and trade Terang in the winter, I think what he could get, because there's a lot of teams that would love him.
Absolutely. You can keep reloading.
Something else. Keep reloading. This one comes from JB in St. Francis. Sal Frelick's debut game when he went 3 for 3 with 2 RBI made him an instant fan favorite. Well, he's a good-looking kid. He works in the community. He had a big fundraiser on an off day for Best Buddies down in the Deer District. So, I mean, a lot of reasons the guy's a fan favorite. Murph kind of helped build him up, and there's a lot to like about it. And again, I'm not slagging on Sal Frelick, but I do look at the team and say, if someone wants a major league player back, a Gold Glove winner, he's an attractive piece. It's not that, again, it's not you're trying to get rid of him.
No.
But it's you're trying to add to the team, and he's a piece that you can get. He has value.
Understanding the process. Yeah, what has to happen.
He has value. All right. Understand the process. That's what LeBron said when he joined the Sixers. Keep your hot takes coming, 877-794-1973. When we come back, one of our favorites is going to join the party. Matt Miller, a man about film. I put it out there talking about the Odyssey. I want to go see that movie. Matt Miller's seen it. I'm going to talk to him about that. And the Euchre doc, which is, I highly recommend people see. Go see the Euchre doc. It's Aaron Nagler saw it last night, apparently. Billy did not see it yesterday, but he's going to. I highly recommend that folks see it while it's in theaters and help push this movie along. It'll be on streaming services eventually, but it's worth seeing. You're not going to walk away disappointed. I will say that. Matt Miller joins us next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Wednesday in the good land. Hot Take Hump Day continues. 877-794-1973. NicoleLaw.com talking text line. Oh, baby, line one right now occupied by our pal Matt Mueller, who joins us. What's happening, Big Poppy?
Howdy, friends.
All right.
How's it going? Sounds
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. The parents are watching the little kiddo right now. So far, so good. And that means Matt gets to give his arms a rest from holding him. So that's nice.
Yes. I was interested in the backdrop. I didn't know what kind of like Geno legacy backdrop we're gonna get of all the mini helmets and stuff like that. I do love that. So
yeah, there was a brief moment where I really wanted to collect every single NCAA football mini helmet, which got killed by basically the Oregon Ducks. Because then every team was like, after Oregon was like, every week we have a new helmet, every team was like, well, we got to have a new helmet. So then it kind of gets impossible when Rutgers has 5 alternate looks and, so.
True.
So we got some remainders up here. A whole bunch of schools that most people probably do not care about, but had cool helmets at one point. So.
Yep. Remember how your parents used to be excited when you visited, and now they just want to see the kid? They just want to see the baby. And
I'm garbage right now. I show up at my parents' house, and they're like, "Give us the baby," and I'm like, "I'm doing okay." And then it's like, "That's nice to give us the baby." Like
we want to see the baby.
I am absolutely useless now.
All right, Matt, I've been dying to talk to you about the Odyssey because we have not spoken about this blockbuster yet. It's setting all kinds of records. It's Matt Damon's biggest starring role box office. Box office has been incredible. And I'm just wondering, does it fall off the map when the Spider-Man movie hits? Because everybody's saying Spider-Man Brand New Day is pretty good and is going to at least cut into the box office. But with that said, with these two movies battling it out at the same time, Hollywood loves a comeback story. How about Hollywood's comeback? The movies are back.
It's so nice to be excited about the box office again and to feel, and this is before, the Odyssey and Spider-Man were making a bunch of money. Even before all of this, it really felt like, Backrooms and Obsession and even stuff like Devil Wears Prada 2 and Send Help, like these hoppers, an original animated movie making money. These are all really positive signs that, a bunch of stuff can flourish at the box office, not just superhero movies, not just sequels. But that being said, listen, Spider-Man is recession proof, is pandemic proof, is whatever proof, is fatigue proof. Spider-Man always makes a ton of money, and it looks like it's going to have just an insane opening weekend. I've seen the word $800 million worldwide opening weekend. That's James Cameron money. That's an insane opening. And it's weird to think that, it's been 5 years since the last Spider-Man movie, which is the longest gap there's been in a Spider-Man movie. That is weirdly a long period of time to wait for a new Spider-Man in this day and age. So people are going to show up for it. I do think the Odyssey is still going to make a good chunk of change this weekend. It's kind of a different audience still. There's a lot of Venn diagram overlap, but there's a little bit more, I think, older audiences are probably a little bit more interested in the Odyssey than Spider-Man. And plus, the Odyssey still has those IMAX screens in a lot of cases. And that is where you get the big ticket costs and stuff like that. That's where you get the big money. So I think we're still looking at a pretty awesome weekend for the Odyssey and a really great weekend for Spider-Man and a really good weekend for theaters and hopefully moviegoers. I've heard good things about Spider-Man, hoping it's good. I am a big fan of the Odyssey. So it's a good time out there for those two movies at least.
Is the so the Odyssey, the only IMAX theater I think in our area, correct me if I'm wrong, is like the Mayfair one. Is that the only one?
Yeah, and that one's like a LIMAX. Like, I'm pretty sure the only reason it's technically an IMAX is the audio quality. The audio is IMAX quality, and the screen is larger, but it is by no means a traditional, a true IMAX screen.
And then you'd have to go to Illinois to see the actual IMAX.
Okay,
right?
but I'm confused. Don't we have an IMAX at the museum, or am I going crazy?
That's like a funky IMAX, those bubble screen kind of things that can't, if I recall, those can't play kind of theatrical movies, which is why that one kind of went the way of the dodo in a lot of cases.
It's not a real IMAX, but the one in Illinois, right? Just over the state line.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff gets really confused. Like, listen, I'm a massive movie nerd, and it gets hard for me to keep up with. Okay, is that an IMAX screen? Okay, well, is it a 70 millimeter IMAX screen? Okay, is it a true? All this stuff gets very convoluted. I understand why some audiences might get exhausted by it, but the good news is the Odyssey is good enough that if you see it on a big screen, if you see it on the biggest screen, it's still a really great movie. It's still really well done, I thought.
I was gonna say this isn't like when I was a kid and there was a 3D movie or show and you had to have the glasses on or it would look all blurry. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
and it's not like Avatar where like I really enjoy the Avatar movies, but I know that those things, like if I'm watching that thing at home, that thing does not play the same way. Those movies are pretty necessary to watch on a giant screen. I think the Odyssey, it is huge, it is epic, it is really great to watch with a big screen and a big sound. I don't think this isn't like a IMAX or bust situation in a lot of cases.
Is this going to be impossible one day to come up with like Matt Damon's greatest magnum opus? Like, because like Matt Damon's been in so many good ones now, it's going to be like when they show the top 20 Jordan dunks and no one's going to be able to agree. And everyone's going to argue one day, like, no, this was the greatest player. This was the GOAT. This was the GOAT. And it's like, well, it's Kareem and Wilt. Like, stop arguing about it. Like, you know.
Yeah, if I had to compare Matt Damon to an NBA, I'd probably call him like a John Stockton. Like, he's not flashy, and he just does a great job of serving the team, of serving the movie. And I think that's why, Matt Damon doesn't have that many Oscar nominations. He's never won, obviously, other than I believe he got a screenplay win for Good Will Hunting back in the day. But when it comes to acting, he always just really gives a movie what it needs. And I think the Odyssey, like, I think this could be the year for him. Obviously, we have a long way to go for Oscar time, but it's a big, successful movie. He is the heart of the movie. It's a challenging role with a lot of depth to it, but also it is a movie star role that's very satisfying for the audience. I could see, unless something really big is on the horizon, and obviously, like I said, we got half a year to go still. But this feels like a good time to be like, Matt Damon, it's your time. Let's give you your. Ben Affleck got his trophies. Let's give Matt Damon his flowers now.
I see Matt Damon as this generation's Gene Hackman. Is my logic flawed? Because I think that's one of his heroes.
I think that's fair. I've heard some people say he is the next Tom Hanks in terms of like Matt Damon could move into like America's Dad mode where, he takes on roles that, he's done the action stuff, but he can do, comedy, but he can do drama. He can kind of do everything and everyone kind of generally likes him and he brings a kind of like everyman quality to the screen every time, even when you're playing Odysseus, the man whose name created the word Odyssey. I
was gonna say there aren't many people that like most everyday Americans, I will say, feel this loss of touch with Hollywood actors and things. Matt Damon seems to be the one guy people have somewhat an everyman relate. Like, yeah, he's not Keanu Reeves riding the subway. I get it, but like, it seems to be people still have a respect for Matt Damon. Don't look at him as some, like wild, like untouchable Hollywood acolyte. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, even when he did action movies, he was doing Jason Bourne movies, aka like kind of the most he's just a guy in a hoodie for most of those movies. Like he's not James Bond. He's just kind of a guy running around from place to place fighting for his life. So I'm a big fan of it. I do think the Odyssey's you're gonna be hearing its name come Oscar night. You're gonna be seeing it on screen for a long time here. So I'm glad to see it's do it. This was Christopher Nolan's blank check movie. I have not seen a guy cash more blank checks than Christopher Nolan. He cashed in a blank check with Inception, cashed in a blank check with Oppenheimer, cashed in a blank check now with the Odyssey. I don't know what he does next. Like, how do you go bigger than the Odyssey?
Oppenheimer was the slow burn, though, because I saw something that it took Oppenheimer like 2 years to generate the box office that we've already gotten with Odyssey.
Well, let's remind ourselves, Oppenheimer is a 3-hour-long, half black and white movie about the creation of the nuclear bomb.
Yep.
The fact that the Oppenheimer almost made $1 billion is insane, and that's the kind of pull that Christopher Nolan has. He is Hollywood's biggest movie star right now.
Well, I did say the most impressive thing about Odyssey is people are going to go out of their way to a theater, which is rare these days, unfortunately. More rare, I should say. I don't want to disrespect, but they're going to pay money to go out of their way to hear the same lecture they heard in like middle school, like history class, Greek mythology, like, oh man, when's this class going to end? And
Slightly more fun. Slightly more fun on the big screen with a big budget. Slightly more enjoyable, I will say. No offense to Homer, but I did enjoy this version a little bit more than reading the 600-page one in my high school sophomore year class.
It's going to hit more than the time Ted Danson was in Gulliver's Travels for that made-for-TV movie in the 90s.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, that's a pull right there. I will say, we're talking about the big movies right now. You can still see Uke in theaters this weekend, which is nice to see. Yeah.
Yes.
Happy to see that Uke is still around as well.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. I saw it last week, and it's fantastic.
It's a really great tribute to Uke. Yeah, and again, like with Spider-Man and the Odyssey both in theaters right now, if you were a small movie or a slightly underperforming movie, you were gone from theaters this weekend. There's pretty much it's basically those, but glad to see there's still some room for you.
Yeah, definitely. And Matt, one of the things about the Uke movie I heard at the ballpark the other day in interviews with the producers and directors, it's a 90-minute film. And it's tight because they had to do that for when it's eventually streaming. Like, I guess that was what the recommendation. And I guess the original cut, the first cut was 6 hours. And because I'm watching it thinking, how could they leave that out? And then I'm thinking, oh my God, the agonizing decisions of funny stuff and awesome stuff that they left out. I mean, there should be a director's cut. I'd watch the 6 hour version.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why you have more streaming doc series versus just streaming documentaries right now, is because these streaming services, their metrics are based on hours watched, on minutes watched. So if you have like 6 hours of documentary and you're feeling precious about your cut, a streaming service will be like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. Great. Make it 6 episodes. Whereas, go ahead.
No, I just thought that would be the eventual like path for a documentary like this, is where they'll say the entire uncut version might be available as a streaming thing, like, and then it'll become like this, well, hopefully like this treasure trove of new content after you've watched the theatrical version, or like, hey, we're gonna make this into the Last Dance type thing where it's a 10-episode deal, like where people just want to constantly consume the factory of content that's upon them.
Yeah, I'd like to think with something fairly hyper-local like this, and I mean, it's not wholly hyper-local, there's a whole world of baseball lovers beyond Milwaukee who love Bob Uecker, but you would like to think that for something like this, there would be a home for a bunch of extra footage and stuff like that, and special features. Back in the days of DVD and Blu-ray, we would have gotten that 6-hour cut as a special feature on a DVD and Blu-ray. One of the great unspoken of losses of the streaming era is the fact that we don't have, special features anymore. We don't have the awesome behind the scenes stuff unless they load it up to YouTube. But then you're kind of giving away great stuff for free there. So
were you one of the nerds like me that liked the commentary tracks that DVDs were giving out? I love those things, man. Those were so fun to listen to.
I do like the commentary tracks. I was just the weirdo who like watched all the trailers that were on. Like, I just always wanted to see like how they marketed the movie.
Right.
Then I'd like watch all like the behind the scenes stuff. I will say I am one of those people who's like, don't tell me how you did the magic trick. Like, I like the behind the scenes stuff in a lot of cases in theory, and I'm glad it's out there so people can watch it and people can learn from these great movies. I personally am like, I don't want to know how Christopher Nolan did all this stuff in the Odyssey. I think it's cool trivia, but I want to be in the magic, man. I want to believe the Cyclops is really a whole freaking Cyclops.
There was a time when like the making of featurettes and the spotlight on location, you could see the stars eating lunch at craft service was like the best. You could get those 30-minute things on the DVDs. It was just great.
Or you get, I mean, the Star Wars movies, the George Lucas, the prequels, like you have so much behind the scenes footage of there, and you can see the movie falling apart. You can see George Lucas and all of the people behind the scenes being like, are we liking what's happening here? Because this is kind of like you can kind of see the tension. And now in this day and age where all this stuff is very carefully monitored and no one wants to, be on the record, like it's harder to find those that the famous Ben Affleck Armageddon commentary where he's like, Michael Bay's an idiot. I don't understand why they'd send, why wouldn't they train, scientists how to drill rather than drillers how to be scientists? Like Ben Affleck like cinema sinsing the movie on the DVD commentary.
Hilarious. And you won't get that as much anymore because they're gonna try and censor everybody, right?
Yeah, they don't want people insulting their hard work, and this is something that people paid money for. You don't really get that as much anymore, which is a shame because again, that stuff's personality, that stuff's backstory, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good stuff.
All right, Matt, today was Hot Take Hump Day, and this is one that I had in my notes to get to, and we didn't. But there was some social media churn yesterday. People arguing about whether Culver's cheese curds are overrated in the pantheon of the cheese curd. And someone said the one that jumped it out was true Wisconsin cheeseheads know that Culver's curds are actually trash.
I have to harmonize here a little bit, where I do think Culver's cheese curds are not the best cheese curds by far. They are not even close. But as far as drive-through cheese curds go, in the situation,
That's true.
if we're talking,
Context is everything.
yeah, like I'm sorry, it's cheese curds from a drive-in. Like I can't complain that hard here,
I don't remember ever being offended by them. Like that was an interesting take. I never. Then again, maybe I don't get them that often there. I can just get the fries and move on. But I don't.
Yeah, I feel like I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth here on some level, where it's like, where else am I getting drive-through cheese curds?
Yeah, but the ones in the bars that some people say that get at any bar that has cheese curds, they'll be better than Culver's. I don't know.
Yeah, but sure, but
it's
not.
You've also described most pizza. You go to most like pizza place. Like, but if I need pizza on the road, Domino's will do.
Everybody's got their kind of favorite go-to spot. The Horse and Plow up in Kohler, very good cheese curds, fantastic.
A lot of great places, a lot of great curds out there. Yeah,
yeah, but it was interesting that got some social media churn.
It's melty breaded cheese. How could it go wrong?
You're right.
Like what? There's so much to complain about this world. Tasty, melty, warm cheese is
When
just
you
not
break it
something
down
I'm going to
like
be able to
that, you're
do.
right.
Yeah.
What are we even doing here?
Yeah, the
It's
beer from the
fantastic.
tap at Rain Dots is better than the one in my basement, and the conversation is too. Like, of course it is. It's a bar. And it's like that's what happens. Like, but sometimes in the situation, you take what's convenient.
That's true. Matt Miller, anything else we need to know about Hollywood or culture? And also, since we were talking today about training camp, and it's a great day trip. We talked about sports trips a little bit. You always spring to mind. Is there a baseball trip, or as a new dad, is that shelved this year?
Yeah, so we're just doing the local teams this year. We made it to a Brewers game already. We're gonna do the Timber Rattlers and the Sky Carp, hopefully. Yeah, the traditional going somewhere baseball trip. Obviously, there's some new priorities right now, but we hope to be back on the road next year, checking out some new places, getting some new hats, adding to the collections, and checking some more places off the list.
Fantastic. That's what I figured because, a life-altering event, having a child.
That's true.
Yeah. As much as I would love to see, the Rumble ponies in Binghamton, I think my newborn child is just slightly above him right now. So my apologies to the Binghamton Rumble ponies.
That's all right. And we'll pass those along. Matt Miller, Man About Film on the Substack and on the X. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it as always, my brother. Have a great weekend.
See you at the movies, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Matt Miller. All right. When we come back, we will close up shop. We'll get any loose ends. Take your thoughts on cheese curds. That should have been a hot take. We should have had that discussion, but it'll be better when Billy's here. Because it's cheese curds are like pizza. When they're good, they can't be topped. And when they're bad, they're still pretty damn good.
Exactly.
It's okay. So, we have a Wake and Bake story presented by HappyPlaceHemp.com, holstered up for you. HappyPlaceHemp.com, the best CBD products you'll find anywhere. Order them online. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping. Discount also works in Muskego at the store. If you drop in, talk to the guys, tell them you listened to us and you heard about their products here on our show, and they'll be glad to chat with you. It's located just off of College across from Maddie's. Easy to find. If you know where to look, it's easy to find, I should say. But that's check them out at happyplacehemp.com and make it easy. Use the code HUDDLE, 25% off and free shipping. Wake and Bake story is next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Let's get waking and baking. It's that time of the day. Final segment of today's Huddle. Drew and Armen with Billy winging his way on up to Green Bay. Cover the Packers training camp live. Day one, Wayne Larrivee and Billy from the perch at Ray Nitschke Field. Going to be an epic day for those guys. First day of camp, like Christmas morning for them. Meanwhile, we're waking and baking. Our Wake and Bake segment is brought to you by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Love these guys, love their products, and love the fact that you can order them at a 25% discount using the code Huddle, and they'll throw in free shipping. Doesn't get much better than that. Today's Wake and Bake story comes from a place that we don't usually get Wake and Bake stories or 420 stories. Dateline, Boston, Mass.
Okay.
A former United States Postal Inspector, a federal law enforcement officer authorized to carry a firearm, make arrests, and execute search warrants, has agreed to plead guilty to allegedly stealing more than $330,000 in cash from packages mailed by elderly victims.
Oh, man.
He then laundered the cash and failed to report it to the Internal Revenue Service. The defendant allegedly used the stolen cash to pay for a pool patio, a granite countertop for his outdoor bar, lighting for his pool and bar, Caribbean cruise expenses, and escorts, among other non-necessities.
I was going to say, there's got to be some vice in there. I mean, this was going to be the first guy in the history of criminals that was using it on home repair. And I got to be honest with you, I wanted a nice new bathroom remodeling. So it wasn't as sexy as not sexy is the wrong word.
He was making his outdoor tiki bar look good.
For the escorts. Okay, well, that makes sense. Boy, they finally got him. I mean, that's probably a hard one to catch.
Scott Kelly is 52 years old. Pembroke, Massachusetts, agreed to plead guilty to 44 counts of a 45-count indictment returned by the federal grand jury in Boston. Specifically, he agreed to plead guilty to 5 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts of mail fraud, 5 counts of mail theft by a postal officer, 23 counts of money laundering, 1 count of structuring to evade reporting requirements, and 5 counts of filing false tax returns. Yeah, he was the law enforcement arm of the Postal Service. And he would tip people off and inspect packages that he suspected had cash in them. So don't mail cash if you can avoid it.
They got you, Scott.
Yep. That's our Wake and Bake story. HappyPlaceHemp.com. Code Huddle gets you 25% off and free shipping. We finished today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll see you at 5 a.m. Peace.